Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to this special New Year's Day edition episode of Magnificent Mondays on a Thursday, where we're doing a James Bond film. I haven't got the DVD to hand. I've got the Blu-rays down here, but they don't have pictures on. But never mind. Of You Only Live Twice, probably my third favourite James Bond film. My top three James Bond films are all directed by Lewis Gilbert, weirdly enough. My top two are Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, and then this one, which is weird. And they're all essentially the same film. Probably why I like them all. But that's what we're doing, a breakdown and review of You Only Live Twice from 1967. But before, and Happy New Year, by the way, to everybody watching. Happy 2026. Let's hope it's better than 2025. Anywho, before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm pointing at them things down there. I never know which fingers, where am I going? Over there. Like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell. If you're subscribed already, it would greatly help the channel. Explore the description for links for stuff like merch and me books. There they are. Silent Predator, short horror novella about genetically engineered big cats eating people in the North Yorkshire village of Mercury Rapids. Light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff. Getting a bit tatty is this copy, and it looks all getting creased there. They're on Amazon Kindle and paperback. Give them a whirl. Also in the description there's links for my websites and my other YouTube channels and my social medias and all that stuff. And you can become a member of the YouTube channel, then you get early access videos and exclusive live streams and stuff like that. If you join up, that would be greatly appreciated, as well as will super chats and super thanks. Right, so, is that it? Are we done? Yes, right. So, hope you had a pleasant bringing in of the new year. It's been quiet here. I've just been watching James Bond films and stuff. But anyway. So, You Only Live Twice from 1967. The fifth of Eon Productions' James Bond series. And it was supposed to be at the end of Thunderball. We were told it was going to be the next James Bond film were going to be on Her Majesty's Secret Service. But then they found that they didn't have time to scout the locations because of all the snowy locations, because it takes place up in the Alps and like that. They didn't have time to scout the locations, so they thought, we'll do You Only Live Twice next, which was, I think, the last James Bond book that Ian Fleming wrote and published before he died in 1964. 1964, yes. He died in August 1964. A few months before Goldfinger came out, the movie. But this was the last of his novels. But the film is only loosely based on the novel, as are a lot of the James Bond films, particularly after this. They were more loosely based on the novels. Screenplay by Roald Dahl of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, etc. Fame. Who were a friend, apparently, of Ian Fleming. But he didn't like this book, this novel, You Only Live Twice. He says it was more like a travelogue of Japan. But anywho, so he came up with a new story. I don't know, I've not read the original books. I don't know what the original story's about. I know it's got Blofeld in it and that, and the Japanese castle, but I don't know what they're getting up to, the bad guys. But in this one, they're stealing space capsules. But anyway. So that's that. As directed by Lewis Gilbert, obviously it stars Sean Connery in his last James Bond film, and as I never say never again, as the saying goes. What else? As I said, yeah, stars Sean Connery. It also stars oh God, I forgot the bumming names now. It's got Burt Cook in it, obviously, because there's lots of Japanese people in. Burt Cook's obviously of Chinese descent, I think. But who else is in it? I can't remember now. I'm going to have to look at the cast list now, because I've forgotten. Karen Daw as Helga Brandt, Akiko Wakabayashi, Mie Hammer, Tetsuro Tanba, lots of Japanese actors in. Obviously Bernard Lee, Lois Maxwell, Desmond Llewellyn, obviously they're in it as M. Excuse me, Moneypenny and Q. Got Charles Gray in it in the first of his. I think it's the first. It's the first time he's appeared in a James Bond film, but not the last. It would appear. He appears in this as Dickie Henderson, not Dickie Henderson, who were back in the 70s. He was like a popular British all-round entertainer with Dickie Henderson. Remember when you had people that used to sing and dance and stuff and on stage and tell jokes and all that stuff? He was one of them. Not them. I think it was Dickie Henderson, I think his name was. See if it says here. No, it doesn't say, it just says Henderson. Never mind. Does it say here? Cast, Charles Gray. Dickie Henderson, that's the fella. Apparently named after one of Ian Fleming's mates. And Donald Pleasance as Ernst Stavro Blofeld, the first time we see his face, but he wasn't the original cast. He wasn't the original fella that were cast as Blofeld in this film. Don't ask me the name of the bloke that were originally cast. By Harry Saltzman. Harry Saltzman, yeah, he was one that had the original rights for the Bond films, and so Cubby Broccoli went into partnership with him. But it seems like all of his decisions he made by himself were all bad ones. Anyway, that's just my opinion. He never liked the songs and stuff like that were massive hits, and etc. But anyway, at the budget of we'll say $10 million, box office $112 million or thereabouts. So it was a huge success. If you account for inflation, it'd be like $1 billion movie. It didn't do as well as Thunderball, which until Skyfall was still the most profitable Bond film. But this one far behind, to be completely honest. I don't think. What else? And yeah, there we go. So that's it. And this is the only Bond film where James Bond doesn't set foot in the UK. But anywho, right. So with that out of the way, we'll get on with it, shall we? We're not going to watch the film because YouTube would go mental if we just put it on. I suppose we could do a watch party again, but I'm not setting all that up. So we're going to go through it in a series of stills. I'll try and remember. I do have notes. I'll try and remember I've learned from the behind the scenes on the Blu-ray and stuff like that. So we'll just get on with it, shall we? So I'll pop myself down in the corner and we shall begin. Right. Bear with me. I can never remember my buttons. Is it that one? That's too small, that, isn't it? I've changed some things. It's not that one either, is it? I've changed some things and I've forgot what I've done. I'm going to have to change it, or maybe that one. Nope. I faffed. Remember I faffed about during the Santa Claus the movie watch party. I faffed about with things, didn't I? Right, we'll leave it at that. Update layout. There we go. Right, that's better. What am I like? I don't know. Right, so off we go. Add this to the stage. I'll start this and we'll full screen this baby. And I think something's gone wrong with this actually. Just bear with me because that's not showing what it's saying there. Just bear with me. We have Houston. We have a problem. My computer threw a Benny about 15 minutes before we started. So I think this is to do with that. Right, we're all right now. We're off. We're off and running. Right, we begin. There we go. Oh, hang on. No, see, it's still not right, is it? See, I told you I've been faffing about, haven't I? That blooming Santa Claus. Tell you. Right, we're 8 now. We're off. Save again. Update layout. What am I like? Right, we're off again. We begin. There's good old Leo the Lion. And the United Artists. There we go. There's a good old and we see Sean Connery, who remember who first time appeared in the gun barrel scene in Thunderball. Previously to that, it had been Bob Simmons, but he looks a bit ropey, doesn't he? I think he doesn't do this well. He's all shaking about as though he's always on a skateboard. Watch. Look. But bless him. Right, so, and then we begin. We're in space. Wow. Maybe this is why this is my third favourite one, because I love Moonraker because it's got the space shuttles in. And I say I'm a sci-fi nerd, or geek, whatever. and this is in space. With obviously a Gemini capsule there, but it doesn't tell us that. I don't think. No, Jupiter 16. I wonder if the Robinson family are anywhere about. But off we go. We're in with special effects. They actually wanted to get the Derek Meddins and all his gang in to do the effects for this, because they'd done like Thunderbirds and all the Jerry Anderson stuff, but they didn't get them. Didn't get Derek Meddins until we've got to think now. Can't remember. One of the ones in the 70s, a Roger Moore one. I can't remember which one. It might have been Man with the Golden Gun. I'm not sure. I can't remember. They definitely had Derek Meddins by Spy Who Loved Me, because he did the visuals in that. Sorry, Bearded Brit says all good, lol. And Adam Gamer, Happy New Year, Adam. Good evening, first day of 2026. Yes, it is. It is indeed. It is indeed. Right, so begin. So we've got some astronauts in space, a couple of them. It's obviously a Gemini capsule. There they are. Doing stuff. One of them was going to go on a spacewalk. I love the. By the way, I'm enjoying the. It looks really good, doesn't it? I think it does. Ish, and I like the stars and stuff. Is that Andromeda? Could be. This looks like. In fact, I don't know. They all got McDonnell Douglas shirts on. So is this at NASA or is this at a McDonnell Douglas place? Why has it got a periscope? I don't know. Is that a thing? But anyway, this is obviously stock footage, but not connected with what we're hearing. But this periscope's got me. I don't know. Are they in an underground bunker or something, and they want to look out? I don't know. But anyway, so it's going to go on a spacewalk. Is one of them? Don't ask me the names of them. I can't remember. One of them's called Chris. I know one of them's called Chris, but I don't know which one. Maybe it's the one that's doing the spacewalk. So out he comes with his manoeuvring unit that he says makes it work well. And then we cut to Ed Bishop of UFO fame and other stuff, but he's probably most famous for playing Commander Straker in UFO. Because he was an American living in Britain, so if they needed an American accent, they either got Ed Bishop or Shane Rimmer, and he's in this as well later on. Right, so anyway, so we learn that there's a spaceship, there's an unidentified craft approaching them. There we go. So it's a bit weird, isn't it? An unidentified object is closing on you, fast from astern, and it would become synonymous with UFOs in a few years' time. 3 years after this, to be honest. Anyway, so here we're going to get a view of it, and we're going to see it. See, they can't see it, and then suddenly, he's looking out, look. And then we see it. In a minute. Oh, for God's sake. There it is. Wow, a big rocket of some sort is approaching fast. And the front of it opens up. Thusly. By the way, we've got cool John Barry music from this. But yeah, cool John Barry music in this one. Anyway, so it opens up. Basically, it's The Spy Who Loved Me is a remake of this, isn't it? Because in that one you had an oil tanker swallowing submarines. In this one you've got a spaceship swallowing space capsules. But this fella's not going to do well, is it? There we go. It swallows it up, and these cord gets cut. My line, it's cut, and off he goes, floating off into space, going, see ya. Off he goes. There's Major Tom. Sorry, Chris. So he's not doing well, is he? So I think. But anyway, so they've lost contact with Jupiter 16, and then we cut to. In a minute. Oh, there's Shane Rimmer. I told you it would, innit? And then we cut to this. I don't know where this is supposed to be, but it was filmed in Norway. But I'm sure in the commentary that's on the Blu-ray and the DVD, I'm sure it says they say it's in Alaska. But everywhere else I've read, it says it's in Norway. I think they said Alaska. I could be wrong. But apparently it's part of the distant early warning, the new line. But this is in Norway, so it's So we're getting a meeting from American over here and Soviet dignitaries with Britain in the middle. I don't know why Britain's there. What have we got to do with this? I don't know. Because it's a James Bond film, so we've got to be involved, don't we? Maybe we're hosting it to be, the intermediaries or whatever. But so America's blaming Russia, Russia's blaming America, and the British are saying, we don't think it's either of you, and we think it's somebody else. And our tracking station in Singapore got faint echoes of the rocket coming down somewhere in the Sea of Japan area. So that's where we're going to send our top man. So anyway, so off they go. So our top man there, he is hard at work right now. So James Bond's in Hong Kong with Ling, who is played by, I can't remember, I'll tell you in a minute, Tsai Chin. But here he is. And I'm not sure what's going on here on this scene. Who's in on it and who isn't in on it, and what's, how big of a conspiracy is it? I don't know. But anyway, so there he is. A lot of people don't like this film. They say Sean Connery's phoning it in, and I don't see it myself. I think he's just as good in this as he is in all the others. But anyway, so he says, do we get an inkling that he knows what's going to happen? Because he says, here we go, that'll be lovely. He says, I'm going to miss you. There we go. I'll be sorry to go. So obviously he knows what's happening. But she knows as well. I don't know who's in on it. I'm guessing everybody, to be completely honest. Everybody that we see in this scene is in on the ruse that's coming up. So, anyway, so she presses the button that's on the wall there. There it is. And up he goes. And then some chaps come in. You hear this really loud knock on the door. And then these chaps come running in. Shoot the buggery out of the bed. Are they actually, is it live rounds? Is it a bulletproof bed? I don't know, but shoot the heck out of him. And then run out. And then we get the good old British Hong Kong police, because this is in Hong Kong. Is it Yellow Thread Street? Remember that series that, did it come out in the late 90s? Was it late 90s? I'm going to look that up now. I think it was just before we handed Hong Kong back to China. And there was a brief, police series, British-made police series set in Hong Kong. There we go. Yellow Thread Street. When did that come out? 1990. I thought it was after that, to be honest. 1990 it came out. Working in the Royal Hong Kong Police. And I never watched it. I just remember it being on. Anyway, so here they come. Big crowds, look. For some reason, there's loads of people that I wonder why they're there watching a James Bond film being filmed. But anyway, so in they come. And this fella says he's dead. So does he know James Bond, this chap, this policeman? I don't know. Does he know who he is? He says, we're too late. There you go. We're too late. At least he died on the job. He'd have wanted it that way. Do they know him? They must do. I don't know. But then we go into the opening credits. They'll be panned down or tilt down onto the blood-stained mattress. So were those bloodstains already there? Or did they actually shoot him? I don't know. Or did he have a blood pellet or whatever that he just sprinkled about? I don't know. And then we cut to the great Maurice Binder opening titles. There we go. You Only Live Twice, with the song sung by Nancy Sinatra. Apparently it took her 25 takes to finish the song, and they used 25 different bits to get what they wanted. You'd think she'd know. You think, being the daughter of Frank Sinatra, you'd think she'd be able to bash a song out in one go, wouldn't you? But or at least to the satisfaction of John Barry. But apparently not. Took him 25 goes. Anyway, right, so here we go, through the credits. And Donald Pleasance, as well as all the others. Peter Hunt, he wanted to direct this, but they won't let him. They got Lewis Gilbert in instead. But he did direct the next one, because it says there, supervising editor. It wasn't the original editor on this film. The original editor came with Lewis Gilbert. Can't remember the name. I'm sure it was a woman. I've got it here somewhere in my notes. Hey, if I can find it. Where is it? I've got my hand up there. I don't know. Just bear with me. There we go. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. I do have it there, but mentioning that it wasn't the original editor. Yes. Anyway, that beginning bit, in the golf balls, says it was filmed at Magera in the Oslo Fjord in Norway. So that's where that was filmed. And it's still there today, apparently. Run by the Norwegian military. Anyway, where were we? There we go. Director Lewis Gilbert's regular editor, Thelma Connell, was originally hired to edit this movie. However, after her initial almost 3-hour cut received a terrible response from test audiences. I'm not surprised it was 3 hours. Peter Hunt was asked to re-edit the movie. Hunt's cut proved to be a much greater success, and he was awarded the director's chair on the next movie as a result. So Peter Hunt directed On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was the next film, but not with Sean Connery. Peter Hunt also was what's the word? An associate. That's not the right word. Comrade. I don't know. It was friendly. He and John Glenn essentially went to the same editing school, I suppose you could say. They rose up together. But Peter Hunt was slightly ahead of John Glenn. And it was Peter Hunt that got John Glenn his first job in James Bond. Obviously, John Glenn would go on to direct all of the 1980s James Bond films from For Your Eyes Only up to Licence to Kill. I think he's directed the most James Bond films out of any director. Right, where were we? Right. Oh, what have I done? There we go. We're getting there. Little location manager, Robert Watts. I'm guessing that's the same Robert Watts who was one of the producers of the original Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. He was the third unit director on Star Wars, wasn't he? He's proud of that fact. Says he directed scenes of like R2-D2 putting his middle leg down and stuff like that. Anyway, main title designed by Maurice Binder. Title song sung by Nancy Sinatra. Isn't that a weird word, sung? It doesn't sound right, does it? I don't think it sounds like sung shouldn't be a word. It should be, I don't know. Singed. Sang. I don't. What's the past word for sing? Should have said performed. But anyway, screenplay by Roald Dahl. Great production design from Ken Adam. The famous Volcano Lair. Director of photography Freddie Young. I think Lewis Gilbert might have brought. Or was that? No, Pete. In the previous film, I think Terence Young. No, I'm not. No, it didn't. It might have been this one then that brought Freddie Young on. I can't remember, but great director of photography. Directed by Lewis Gilbert, who had directed Alfie previous to this one, the Michael Caine film, which I've never seen, but apparently it's really good. Right, off we go, and then we cut to Hong Kong. I don't know if this is Hong Kong. I think it is, but when we cut to some other shots, it's actually filmed at Gibraltar. But I think this might actually be Hong Kong, this establishing shot, but I could be wrong. I think it is. Then we see some chap here, I don't know who he is. Does he work for Spectre? I don't know, but he's watching a ship out at sea. Hang on, there we go. But first we zoom in on this newspaper. British naval commander murdered. Although you can see they've just cut out. Couldn't they even get like a page of a newspaper printed out just for the purpose of this film? No, they've got an actual paper. July 9th, 1966, it says there. And just stuck on that square there with the James Bond thing. Unbelievable. Bombers strike again, it says there. White label. Dewar's Scotch. British government something textile. Whatever. I like reading the news headlines on on newspapers in films, see what they're on about. Anyway, so there we go. James Bond has been murdered, and that's what he's watching. I think it must be a Spectre agent, and then we cut to this ship. There it is, which is not in Hong Kong. It is. I'll tell you what ship it is, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, I've got too many notes. I've got it here somewhere. Go back up to the top. The notes aren't in any order, which is annoying. Come on, where are you? Bum, 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 bum. Is it? No, it's not that one. Come on, ship, where are you? I've got it in my notes. Where's it disappeared to? No, I'm gonna have to search, aren't I? I'm gonna have to blooming search. It's here somewhere. Just bear with me. Maybe I've not got it in my notes. Did I forget to put it in? I must have done. I must have forgot to put it in. Right, I'll find it on here then. There's always something, isn't there, in live telly. Here we go. The ship from which 007 was buried at sea was a Royal Navy ship, HMS Tenby. There we go. F-65. Does that mean frigate? I don't know. The scene was filmed in the winter, which didn't go over too well with the crew, who had to wear tropical gear for the scene. It was shot several times as the body didn't sink the first time. So we'll see that in a minute. Where's watching? They're giving it a service. We go on. At least they haven't got shorts on. Could have been worse. Could have had shorts on. But anyway, so off he goes. Dump him into the sea, do the gunshots and stuff, and down his body goes to the bottom. As I said, how long has passed since he got shot? And what's happened? James Bond just pretended to be dead, or has loads of people are in on it, just not Spectre. Obviously, they haven't got a mole inside British intelligence. But did he just sit about out of the way? Or did he pretend to be dead the whole time? I don't know. Anyway, some divers come along, they gather him up and take him along to a waiting submarine, which just happens to be parked at the bottom of the Hong Kong Bay. So in they go, into this submarine, and they cut it open, this canvas bag that he's in, and there he is. And he's got some breathing thing on, and it makes this really weird, it sounds almost painful when they pull this out. But anyway, and then he just wakes up. So has he been unconscious the whole time? I don't know. Did they shoot him with tranquilizer darts? I don't know what they did with him. But he says, permission to come aboard. And he says, yeah, okay. And we see that he's in his, it's the first time we see him, and he's actually in commander's uniform. With all of his medals. These medals change. We see him several times in his naval uniform. But each time his medal strips are different. But never mind. Right, so anyway, it was on the submarine. The submarine, by the way, is this in my notes? I can't remember. I've got to go through my notes again. It tells us which submarine it is. Oh, I've got it there. Why didn't you find it? It is in my notes about the HMS Tenby. Why didn't you find it when I searched? Never mind. Maybe because I used a lowercase f. I searched for F-65, you see. Right, the submarine used was the Royal Navy Amphion-class submarine, HMS Aeneas. Is that how you pronounce it? Aeneas, I don't know. It normally had the pennant number P427, but was given the designation M1 for this movie because it seems to be M's personal submarine. We'll see the thing. We'll definitely see it at the end. I don't know if we see it before then. Maybe we do. Anyway, here he is. He's arrived. There you go. There's Moneypenny. Lois Maxwell, looking lovely in a uniform. Women in uniform and all that. But apparently she's in... I can't remember. I've got this is in my notes as well. I can't spell. I'm trying to spell Moneypenny. There we go. She's wearing the uniform of a second officer in the Women's Royal Naval Service, similar to a lieutenant in the Royal Navy, but with blue insignia instead of gold. She's got blue things on there. The WRNS, Women's Royal Naval Service, known as the Wrens, was disbanded in 1993, and all its female members went into the regular Royal Navy. Does the Air Force still have WAFs? Is it Women's Auxiliary Air Force or something? Isn't it? That they were the WAFs, weren't they? Yeah, anyway, so here she is. So it's going in to M's private personal submarine office thing. So there he's got. I think he's got Rear Admiral paraphernalia on. That's in my notes as well. I think it is. I'm going to have to type. If it's type just M, it'll find loads, won't it? Type Admiral. If I can spell. Right, we're going to have an Admiral. Oh, it must be capital A, for God's sake. Remember, when Notepad didn't care if you had upper or lower case. Have I found it? I don't know. Oh, there we go. Bernard Lee M, as our American chums say, Bernard Lee, was wearing British Rear Admiral shoulder straps in the scene with the commander. So these are Rear Admiral shoulder straps, apparently. And he's got a bunch of medals as well. Do we ever find out his name? I know his name begins with M. Because, that's the convention, isn't it, I suppose. And we told his Miles, isn't it? Miles is his first name. We learned that in The Spy Who Loved Me. I've pressed the wrong button. There we go. Bernard Lee M. See what it says. See what it says in the James Bond wiki. Does it tell us his name? Miles Messervy, that's it. Vice Admiral Sir Miles Messervy. That was his real name. Not real, his name in the stories. I can't remember Robert Brown who succeeded him. I can't remember his name. Actually, he were Admiral Hargreaves, wasn't he? In Spy Who Loved Me. But was he the same character when he became M? I don't know. It never tells us, does it? But it's the same actor, but I don't know if he's the same character. But he was Admiral Hargreaves in The Spy Who Loved Me. And then who were next? It was Judi Dench, wasn't it? So let's see. I can't remember it. She had two names. Apparently, the Judi Dench in the Pierce Brosnan films was a different M to one in the Daniel Craig ones. But does it say? Let's see. Because I can't remember this stuff because I'm useless. But does it tell us her name? Dench's M was never referred to by name on screen yet, but we do know. Maybe it's in the trivia section. Let's have a look. Here we go. Barbara Maudsley. That's what she was called in the GoldenEye script. So there we go. But in the Daniel Craig ones, I think we're in a novelisation. Excuse me. Of one of the Daniel Craig ones, she was called something else. But it doesn't say that here for some weird reason. Anyway, never mind. She was called something else, but it doesn't tell us there. So that's another. A name began with M. A surname began with M, and then you had Ray Fiennes, who played Mallory, who became M. So like I said, they tried to get all the M's, didn't they, to become M. Anywho, apart from Admiral Hargreaves, but maybe he were a different character. I forgot where we were now. After that diversion. Yes. Now you're dead. Perhaps some of you. This is the only reason why it's called You Only Live Twice, by the way, because James Bond pretended to be dead for a bit, but the ruse doesn't work very well because they soon work out that he's not dead. But never mind. I think maybe halfway through the film or something like that, they think it's James Bond. Anyway, so they've killed him off, so that Spectre doesn't know that. Think he's not around anymore. But sure, there are other agents. Well, there's 9, isn't there? In Thunderball, we saw that there were 9 00 agents, weren't there? So they'll have others to choose from. It's not just James Bond, for God's sake. But anyway. Right, so he's getting his orders. He's got to work out. He's got to go to Japan and work out who's bringing down these capsules. So, and he gives him a note. Does it say on, burn this after reading? I'm guessing it does, because he just sets fire to the bugger. Look, in his, 007, stop setting fire. We're in a submarine, for crying out loud. But it sets fire to it after. He's got to talk to Henderson, Dicko Henderson, not Dickie Henderson. In Tokyo. Remember they were in Hong Kong originally, so I don't know how fast this submarine is, but it soon gets to Tokyo. Apparently, I did look it up. A surface ship takes about 4 days to get from Hong Kong to Tokyo. I don't know how fast a submarine. Submarines are slower, aren't they, generally, I think. So anyway, so maybe it just bums about in the submarine for a few days. We'll say a week. But because he's given a time scale in this scene, 3 weeks for the next American launch, and fewer than that for the intelligence that the Soviets are planning to launch earlier than that. So, which we do see, sort of. Anyway, there's all them pipes there on his rack. He's got all the comforts of home. I don't know who that bloke is. Is he an ancestor of M's? Don't know. Maybe he's the first boss of the British intelligence service back in the 1700s or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so off he goes. Moneypenny says, how was the girl? He said, which girl? The one we arranged for you in Hong Kong. And then we get his first continuity break. And he says, another 5 minutes I'd have found out. So off he goes. The password they've agreed with Japanese SIS is I love you. Because she says it to him. Because she loves him.
I love you.
Poor Moneypenny. And he doesn't say it back to her, even though she says repeat please. He won't say it, because he's a bastard, isn't he? Anyway, as he's going, she throws him a book. There we go. Instant Japanese. Oh, there we go. Whee! Instant Japanese. This is where he says, you'll forget, I took a first in Oriental languages at Cambridge. Which he seems to forget. Maybe, I don't know. But he's going to say it here. There you go. I took a first in Oriental languages at Cambridge. But then once we get to Tomorrow Never Dies, when he teams up with Michelle Yeoh, I can't remember the name of her character in that, and he goes to type something on her keyboard in her secret base, it's all in Chinese. So obviously, maybe he didn't take Chinese. Maybe of all the Oriental languages, Chinese wasn't one of them, or Mandarin, or whatever. I know there's lots of languages in China, but Mandarin is the main one, isn't it? But he obviously forgot about that. Anyway, never mind. Right, so time has passed a week or so, a few days to get to Tokyo. Unless this somebody's really quick, it's like Sequest or something. I don't know. He suits up and they chuck him in a torpedo tube and fire him out. Is that a thing? Can you do that? Would that work? I don't know. I mean, is the tube? I don't really know how torpedoes work, to be honest. Is it fired out of the tube by water pressure? I thought they had propellers and stuff. I don't know. But anyway. So anyway, they fire him out. Out he comes, look. Oh, do we see it say M1? Oh my, yes, look, it says M, just says M there. When we see it later, this is obviously a model. When we see it later, an actual submarine, the actual HMS Aeneas, I hope it's pronounced, it does say M1 on the side of it. Anyway, so here he is, arrived. I'm guessing he hasn't swum all the way from Hong Kong to Tokyo, because that would have taken him even longer, wouldn't it? I would say maybe he comes to shore and then gets a plane from Hong Kong. But he doesn't, because he comes out here, looks at the sights of Japan, and then, because we tell it's Japan, because, I don't know, it's the land of the rising sun or whatever. And then we cut to Tokyo. land of the not working properly neon signs. Just about every neon sign we see has something up with it. Hang on, let's go back. There we go. Welcome to Tokyo. And we say that T's not working properly. And then we cut to another one. Something's broken on this one. There we go. Broken neon signs, not working right. But anyway, whatever. Maybe because it's the 60s. Anyway. Right, so here he is. In Japan. In Tokyo. By the way, usually James Bond films are globe-trotting affairs, aren't they, where he goes all over the place. He doesn't in this one, does he? Hong Kong and Japan. And that's it. That's it in this one. But anyway. What's a mitake button? I don't know. Mushrooms? Button mushrooms? Shiitake? Button mushrooms? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, it's being followed. Somebody says, oh, look, she's got her eye on him. Oh, there, look, she's got her eye on James Bond. He goes into that place and then she starts talking. They have these Japanese people. And for some reason, I don't know if it's just me, but they sound like they're dubbed by people that don't speak Japanese. I don't know, but there's something weird about the way they speak. I don't know. It could be perfectly normal, but it sounds odd to me. I don't know anything about Japanese. I can't speak Japanese, but it just sounds weird. Anyway, she's talking into her purse. Right. So he heads into this place, and this fella takes him to see. Maybe he's a famous Japanese actor, I don't know, but he goes up to him, here he is. I don't know, but he says, this is your ticket. That's how he says it.
This is your ticket.
This is your ticket. So he gives him his ticket. Why do we need this scene? Why don't you just go in? Why don't they have a thing where you can buy a ticket to get in? You know, what they call it, a box office. You know, and he can say in Japanese because he's fluent in Oriental languages apparently. You know, like Sean Connery's fluent in Russian in Hunt for Red October. So he could have gone in and gone or whatever. But no, we had to have this drawn out scene where he walks through. We see all these sumo wrestlers getting ready. One of them looks like me. Hang on, let's see. This fella here, look, just like me. There, look. Me sitting on the toilet. And it gives him his. So I don't know why this. I'm guessing maybe this because they had to hire so many Japanese actors with speaking roles. Maybe because like countries have different rules, don't they? If you film in their country, you got to have so many native actors. So maybe he's a tick box or something. I don't know, but. Anyway, so he gives him his ticket, and out he goes into the arena. Gets taken to his seat, and some people have said this is an actual, they filmed at an actual event. But I think in the behind-the-scenes documentary that I watched, it's not an actual event. It's something that the film put on. But it were treated like an actual event. So they've got 8,000 people in this arena and basically put on a sumo wrestling show for the film. So I'm guessing maybe they could stop the fighting or whatever at any time and say, look, we're doing another take or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, there's 8,000 extras essentially. So he's off getting ready to watch a bit of sumo wrestling. Lots of oily big men hitting each other, and then here comes Akiko Wakabayashi. Am I getting that right? Probably not. Who's very lovely. She arrives. She plays Aki. The character's name was originally Suki. Where is she? Come here, love. Not you. There she is. The character's name was originally Suki and was supposed to be played by Mei Hama. I'm probably mispronouncing that. We'll see in a bit. There were the two Japanese actresses cast as the main two Japanese females, the main two Japanese Bond girls, Akiko Wakabayashi and Mei Hama. As I said, I'm probably mispronouncing it, but they were in the opposite roles. So Akiko here were originally going to be Kissy, and Mei Hama were going to be Suki, as she were called then. But neither of them spoke very good English or any English at all. So they brought them over to Britain, immersed them in English culture, and I imagine lots of English lessons by dialect coaches and all that. And Akiko picked it up pretty well, apparently. She did quite well, but May Harmer was struggling, and they realised it wasn't going to work because she was in the main lead with lots of dialogue. Because Kissy doesn't have a huge amount of dialogue. She does have some, but not a huge, not as much as Aki or Suki as she was at the time. So they decided they had to fire her and send her home. And so they got, I forgot the name of the actor. The fellow that plays Tiger Tanaka, Tetsuro Tanba, they got him to take her out to dinner, May Harmer, or Me Harmer, take her out and tell her, you're fired, basically. And apparently she freaked out, because Japanese people are like, it's all about honour. She thought she dishonoured her family. And so she said she was going to throw herself out of the window of a Dorchester hotel room or wherever she was. She was staying in London. So I'm guessing somebody brushed over there and stopped her and said, look, we're not firing you. What we'll do, we'll swap your role. You can play Kissy and we'll get somebody in to dub her. So she's dubbed, her audio is dubbed by, I forgot her name, bloody hell. The one that always dubs James Bond women. Nikki What's-Her-Face. It's in my notes. I can never remember. There we go. Nikki van der Zyl. Me Hammer was dubbed by franchise regular Nikki van der Zyl, who's done loads of Bond dubbing. She was, Honey Rider and all. She dubbed Ursula Andress and loads of others. So they swapped them round. So there we go. So she didn't have to throw herself out of a hotel window, for crying out loud. Anyway, right, where were we? Right, so here we are. We're watching the matches. It's not exactly WWE, is it? But never mind. Although we do see a connection to WWE in a bit. Anyway, so he's looking at her. They're getting ready to fight. And he says to her, I love you, in that a really stilted way. Is he going to say it now? We're glancing at each other. Has he said it yet? Here we go.
I love you.
I love you. She doesn't say I love you back. She says, I have a car nearby. I know a quiet hotel. There we go. So, and she says, well, you can meet Mr. Henderson. So it says, right, okay, off we go. After they watch somebody else get thrown out of a ring. And off they go in her car, which is a Toyota something or other. It's in my notes. Which is a special thing for just this. There we go. Toyota 2000 GT, I think. Is it? Have I got that right? Yes. And they weren't made as convertibles. The only convertible Toyota 2000 GT you'll see is in this film. Apparently because Sean Connery, who's 6'2", wouldn't fit in it or couldn't fit in it. So they took the roof off, basically. So there we go. And it's not a convertible either. They just took the roof off and made it look like a convertible. Anyway, so there it is. So, pressing the wrong button. What am I like? Anyway, right, so off we go. Are we going, by the way? Everything's still okie dokie. Yes, it is. It is. Sorry, I've just had a Rumble chat. Alabama John said he wants to talk to me right now. Somehow I don't think so. He's also live on Rumble. Come over when you are free. Thanks. Right, okay. I'll look up Alabama John later. Can't do it now. I'm in the middle of a show. Oh, dear. Right, where were we? Anywho. Right, so they're driving over here. He looks in the back and sees she's got lots of paraphernalia, just like it's very Austin Powers. Austin Powers took a lot from You Only Live Twice, didn't it? I expect that to come on and see Basil Exposition appear. But anyway. Right, so here they come. They arrive at the hotel, the Japanese hotel, because everything's made of paper. But what is it with the Chinese and the Japanese? There's amazing cultures that go back thousands of years, but the Japanese made all the buildings out of paper. I know they didn't, but they liked it, didn't they? That paper insides, internal walls, like this weird paper. And Chinese never invented glass. They never got round to doing things made of glass for some reason. Anyway. Right, so this is where we're introduced to Dicko Henderson, played by Charles Gray, who would go on to play Blofeld in Diamonds Are Forever. Less said about that, the better. I mean, what happened with Blofeld? I mean, we see Blofeld in this one. We all know, don't we? You've seen this film. Spoilers and all that, but you've seen he's got a massive scar going down his face. Then the next film is played by Telly Savalas, and I'm guessing he's supposed to have had plastic surgery to remove the scar and something to do with his earlobes as well. And then in Diamonds Are Forever, he's got hair and everything, and it's got completely different again, and got loads of lookalikes and whatnot. What's going on? And also in the next one, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, he doesn't seem to recognise James Bond. And the reason for that is actually because On Her Majesty's were written before. I think On Her Majesty's Secret Service were the first time that James Bond met Blofeld. But remember, this was the last book that this one, You Only Live Twice, was the last book that Fleming wrote. So. Anywho, I forgot what I want now. Oh, yes, he's met Henderson, so he's got his gun on him because obviously he doesn't trust him, he doesn't really know, and so he's got to meet Tiger Tanaka, who's the boss of Japanese SIS. By the way, he tests see if he is really Henderson. Smashes his leg. He's got a wooden leg apparently that he lost in 1942 during the war, obviously. But anyway, so apparently he's lived in Japan for 28 years. I think he says 28 years, or 27. But he refused to go completely Japanese. But anyway, so this is for 28 years, yes. So we can assume it's 1967, even though the newspaper did say 1966. So it's 1966, didn't it? Because it said on the newspaper. It's 1966. So he's been there since 1946. That's right, isn't it? 46, 56. I forgot already. No, 1940. No, 1940. 1940 has been there. No, 66. 1938. 38, 48, 58. Yeah. So he's been there since 1938. So he obviously wasn't. He can't have been living in Japan during the height of World War II, or was he a secret spy undercover? Maybe he went to the same place that James Bond goes later on in this film to make him look Japanese. I don't know. But anyway, he lost a leg at some point. Right, so he gives him some Russian vodka that he gets from the doorman, gives him some information. He's about to spill the beans. Don't know. I think it's not the Russians, it's not the Americans either. But he's about to say, a large Japanese industrial concern is, and then he stops mid-sentence. And I don't know how, but would that happen? I don't know. Maybe it's just the surprise. I don't know. We see that he's dead. He's been stabbed in the back. I mean, maybe he's not dead. He could be just shocked. I don't know, and hurt. But we assume he's dead. So James Bond just jumps through the paper and runs after this fella, fights him, and makes him stab himself. And then James Bond takes his... By the way, they're statues, not real animals wandering about as they're fighting. Takes his clothes and goes and gets into the car that's waiting for him, which is driven by Peter Maivia. Is it High Chief Peter Maivia? His wrestling name or something like that. Who is the Rock's grandfather? Dwayne Johnson, The Rock from WWE. It's his grandfather by adoption, because he adopted The Rock's mother. So anyway, when she was a kid. Right, so anyway, so the drive over to there. We've got Osato Chemical and Engineering Company Limited. So here it is. This is actually a hotel. This, which I can't remember the name of. I will tell you in a minute. Of course, it'll be in here somewhere. Is it going to tell me? The hotel, yes, the hotel, New Otani Hotel, which is in Tokyo. That's what this is. There we go, a nice look at it. So they're bringing him there, up in the lift, sorry, elevator, and taking him into the office, and then he says, "Oh, hello." So they have a big fight. Here they are, having a big fight. It's a big fella, isn't he? Because he was a wrestler himself. Chucking him through more paper walls. By the way, it's Bob Simmons, by the way, as you can see there. It's not Sean Connery doing all this stuff. It's Bob Simmons, the stunt coordinator, doing the bulk of the fight. Anyway, he swords come out and everything, and he gets rid of him by just whacking him over the head with a statue. Here it is, look. Which we see again later. Gives him a good clout with it. Doink. So that's the end of it. I'm presuming he's dead because he's broken the statue. Hello, Wingrace. Says, I can't believe I haven't seen you in a year. I know, it's been a whole year. It's 2025, 2026. Since we last crossed paths. Anyway. Oh, let's have a sip of my coffee. I forgot about this. It'll be cold now. Yep, cold. Right. Broke the statue, and we see this again in a bit. Unbroken. Anyway, so he hides him in this bar, just like the bar that you sometimes win on 3, 2, 1. If you're not British, you don't know what I'm on about. You've won the bar. It was a quiz show where you won some wacky prizes. He has a swig of Siamese vodka and then sees that there's a safe, so he cracks out presumably one of Q's gadgets. He has a similar thing in Moonraker, doesn't he? So, as I said, basically the remakes of each other. That in that one it's got like a X-ray thing on, hasn't it? But on this one it's just telling you what numbers to press. There we go. What's the code? Is it going to show us? Go on, tell us. Is he going to show us? Pardon me, security guards don't know he's there. There we go. 46831. That's Jet Set Willy poke code. If you know what I'm on about. No, I know it's not. Anyway, so he gets in the safe, grabs whatever he sees in there, and doesn't see what it is, just grabs it and gets it. He must know what it is. I don't know. And out he comes. The easily bamboozled security because the alarms went off when he opened the safe. Guys just run straight past him, look. And he runs out. By the way, he's wearing spats. I've been seeing a lot of spats this last week or so. In Santa Claus the movie, John Lithgow wore spats, and now Sean Connery's wearing spats. What is it with spats? It's just like saying the word. Anyway. So he runs out, and they're all shooting at him, and then Aki arrives in her car, and with no roof, and in he gets, and because it's not raining, isn't it? In he gets, and the drive off, and he says, stop here, I want information. So she stops and gets out and runs off. So he goes running after her. She can run really fast in her lady shoes because he can't catch up to her. Look, through some underground station or whatever, and anyway, onto a set where he falls down a thingamabob to somebody that's obviously not Sean Connery. That's obviously not Sean Connery. That might be. I don't know. That is, isn't it? It looked like him. And then they cut to like a terrible. They must have wanted a close up of his face or something as he's sliding down for a reaction shot or something. And then it looks awful. Look, it looks terrible. But never mind. And then pressing the wrong button again. Then he plops out. Here he comes, showing off his spats. This is where we meet Tiger Tanaka. Does he have I know that's his nickname, Tiger, but what is his actual name? No, it just says Tiger Tanaka. Never mind. So here we are he's the boss of Japanese. He's the Japanese M. So anyway, but he's not voiced by Tetsuro Tanba, who apparently could speak really good English, but they didn't like, I don't know, the timbre of his voice or something, I don't know. So they got Robert, I forgot how to pronounce his name, Robert Ratey, I don't know how to pronounce it, Robert Ratey to do his dialogue. So we've had two Bond films in a row where Robert Ratey's overdubbed somebody because he did the voice of Largo in Thunderball. And so now this fella's got exactly... He doesn't even try to put on a Japanese accent. He just does the same accent he did for Largo in Thunderball for this one.
The one thing my honourable mother taught me long ago.
Anyway. So he has a quick, jibe at Bond for getting into cars with strange girls and stuff. And then he says, if you're who you say you are, then how do you feel about me? And I love you. So, thank God we got that out of the way. Right, so it shows him what he got out of the safe. It's some receipts. 50 kilos of butter, 50 containers of locks. And he says, it's the American name for smoked salmon. Apparently, I don't know. It's also the technical term for liquid oxygen. I won't say it's technical, it's like an abbreviated term, isn't it? But anyway. Which is used in rocket fuel, or it could be, I don't know, but anyway. So they're going to take the train out. Here we go. He's got his own train as Tiger. He says, your M has a similar thing going on, in London. He says, but of course. I bet Tiger ain't got his own submarine, has he? No, bloody hands. So anyway, so they drink some sake. Oh no, I like sake, especially when served at 39.5 Fahrenheit or whatever. I don't say that. I know it's something else. Tell us, 98.4 Fahrenheit. Because this is before Britain went decimal. I think it's the Jewish name, not American. Locks. Is it smoked? Is that what Jewish people call it? I don't know. Anyway, so you're surprisingly cultured for a outsider or whatever he says. Right, so they're going to go and suss out what's going on. They're looking at the photograph that were in the things. There we go. And we see that there's a ship and there's some diving girls that we're going to see and all that. So the ship's called the Ningpo, but then you see there's a microdot on the photo. They just say it somewhere. And it says, photo taken by so-and-so tourist. They have been liquidated as a precaution. Anyway, so it goes to Tanaka's house. This is where he's going to get bathed by some Japanese beauties. I'm not sure how many of these are actually Japanese. But cause I'm guessing this was filmed in Britain and not in Japan. This is to be a studio thing, won't it? She's definitely not Japanese. And she probably ain't either. But anyway, so they're soaping them all up. And these little jibes about his chest hair. Saying, Japanese men all have beautiful, smooth skin. Bird does not make nest in bare tree and all that stuff. But anyway, so they're talking about what they're going to do. They're going to go to Asato Chemicals and in disguise. But anyway, so that's what he's going to do. But James Bond's going to shag one of these, obviously. He's going to have a massage first, and then Aki comes in and takes over. And then I don't really know what's going on, because she says here, does she know about his murder in Hong Kong? Because she says this weird thing. In a minute. There we go.
No one will disturb you tonight.
No one will disturb. Sorry, I can't help myself. Tonight. And this is the one that learned English better. Anyway. She can speak English better than I can speak Japanese. I can tell you that for note. But why is she saying that? What does she know about him being disturbed? Does she know all about what happened in Hong Kong? I'm guessing she does. Maybe she does. I don't know. They must have filled it in. She's read the report. So they're going to do it, obviously. Right, next day is heading into Asato Chemicals as Mr. Fisher. I like it when James Bond pretends to be somebody else. Because, it doesn't do it very often, does it? They always go in and say, my name's Bond, James Bond, and all. You're a secret agent. Yes, I am. He's the most secret agent ever. But I like it when he's sneaking about and pretending to be somebody else. So he's pretending to be Mr. Fisher from, I forgot, Empire Chemicals or something like that. I'm trying to remember other... he does it again on the Majesties, doesn't he? He pretends to be like that British aristocrat. and he does it in Spy Who Loved Me, where he's being Robert Sterling. I can't remember any others. I'm sure he's done it loads of times, but they're the ones that stick out to me. And yes, here he is, back at Osato Chemicals. And here we go, they let him in. So, Mr. Osato will be here shortly. And here they are on their high-tech machinery. I don't know what's going on here, but there's some sort of accounting machines, I don't know. They've just got numbers on the keyboards. But he's watching on the camera, look, they've just got numbers on the keyboard. So I guess it's some sort of accounting machine. But he's watching him. There we go, he's checking out. Remember, he broke this when he smashed it over the Rock's granddad's head. And he has a little smile. He has a little smile. Of course, it's been mended. There's some Gorilla Glue on that. Anyway, meanwhile, now then, this shot. Is this an actual shot of the building? Of course, it looks like a model with this helicopter coming. Did they go to all the trouble? Let's see how long it was on for. Right, hang on. Just bear with me. Right, here we go. They go to all this trouble of building this beautiful model of this thing with this model helicopter arrive. Or is it the actual thing? Because it looks like a model to me, but maybe it's not. I don't know. But 1, 2, 3, 4... 4 seconds of film time. We never see it again, I don't think. Maybe it's the real build. Maybe it's just the lighting. I don't know. But it looked like a model to me. But maybe it wasn't. Anyway, so Sato arriving. Here he is. I think being flown by Helga Brandt, but I bet it's not. I bet that's not Karen Dorr. I'm trying to see if I get a good look at him. No, because they've changed it now. Look, now it's down on the ground. So here he is. Right, so they introduce themselves. There she is, Karen Dorr. It's Helga Brandt. I think the original script, or maybe the original. Oh, the cat, because she died, didn't she? But they saw how popular. I forgot the bloody name now. In the previous film, in Thunderball, Luciana, what's her face, Paluzzi. I forgot the name of her. Fiona Volpe. That's how popular Fiona Volpe was in the previous film. You know, this redhead seductress and all that. I thought we'll have one in this film as well. So she's Fiona Volpe Mark II, but very attractive. But you know, it's not a patch on Luciana. I forgot her name. Whose autograph I've got. Anyway, so we're gonna have some champagne for breakfast, and he's getting worried. He's not eyeing her up. You see, he's watching. He's watching. I think he's eyeing her up because it's James Bond. But he's not actually. He's thinking, hang on, I shoved a body in there last night. But he should realise they've tidied up. You know, they've mended that statue and stuff. Obviously, he's not in there anymore. He's the Rock's granddad. So anyway, so he's going to have some champagne. And he's smoking a cigarette. He didn't ask anybody if he could smoke. He just sparked up, smoking a cigarette. So we learn that he's pretending to be the new president of, I think it's Empire Chemicals or whatever they call it. Yes, Empire Chemicals. So what happened to Williamson? And he goes, oh, yeah, he fell into a pulverizer at the works. And I thought, is that true? And I don't know, maybe he's just flanneling. But anyway, but he knows he's not who he says he is, because he's got the top secret. There we go. X-ray machine where he's X-raying James Bond. We see he's got a gun. I don't know what's going on under here, but what's that there? Is that his inflamed kidneys? Anyway, so he says, I want all this stuff, you know, from your company and all that, and we'll pay you a gazillion dollars or whatever. So, right, okay then, see you later. Bye. They'll contact you at your hotel. And then as he goes, he says to, here we go. He says to Brand,
kill him.
Kill him. So that's her job. But she doesn't, because they must have, because as he's going out, it said kill him. So she must have pressed, they must have a kill him button or something to press. Whatever. Because they must have a car outside with men with machine guns just waiting. Because as he comes out, look, they're waiting there. As he comes out, there he is with his briefcase. They're just going to mow him down in the street. So does this happen a lot at Osato Chemicals? I don't know, but She arrives just in time again. Does Aki get down, and they start shooting at him. That's in the middle of the street. Look, they're shooting at him. So car chase ensues in Tokyo. There they are, shooting at them through little streets and all that stuff. It's all very exciting. And they didn't know how to end this scene, end this car chase. They think, how do we end this car chase that's interesting? We don't know what to do. And it could be Broccoli's wife, Dana, that came up with the idea. She says, why don't you get a plane or something to come in with a big magnet on and just lift the car up and then dump it into the sea? And they went, oh yeah, that'd be cool. So they didn't get a plane or whatever. They got a Chinook helicopter. Anyway, here he is, Basil Exposition. And they call, for some reason, they don't call him Bond or 007, they call him 00. He's with me. We are being chased by gunmen in black sedan. Arrange usual reception or whatever. There we go. So off they go. And then here comes the usual reception. But is it always on standby, somewhere nearby? How many have they got? Don't know. How many the usual reception, how many cars have they dumped in Tokyo Bay? Don't know. But here we go. It is a good scene, I must admit. There we go. It clamps on, lifts the car up. So it's all, no CG in this day and age. Or that day and age, should I say. Off they go. Terrible, by the way. All this cool, real stuff going on. They've got terrible rear projection and stuff, or blue screens, however they do it. It looks awful, doesn't it? Then they cut to... I hate when they do this in films as well. He's watching on the TV thing. We see him there, going past the Tokyo Tower. And then we cut to... He's watching on the screen in Aki's car. So they've got another helicopter or a spotter plane or something, or a blimp with a camera that's watching them do that. And then it cuts to... Hang on, we see there. And then we see that. And then it cuts to the actual footage, look. I think, well... Why do you do that? It looks stupid. It does me head in when they do that. Look. He's watching the film. It's an instant cassette. It's off Spaceballs, isn't it? That's what he's doing. He's watching You Only Live Twice in the car. Instant cassettes. It's the latest thing. I was going to say something else and I forgot what it was now. Can't remember. But anyway, it's cool, and they carry him out to sea, and then dump it in just let it go. There we go. Dropped it in the car, in the sea. Dropped the car in the sea. Spladoosh. There we go. Cool. What were I going to say? I was going to say something else, and I forgot what it was now. Because I was getting my dander up. Never mind. It can't have been important. It probably is. Probably vitally important. But never mind. Right, so off they go. They're headed to Kobe Docks, by the way, because the Ningpo's moored there. So they're going to go check it out. There we go. Sailing for Shanghai at 5 p.m. this afternoon. So they've got to get there quickly. Then he says, get in touch with them. Says, send little Nellie. Tell her to bring her father with her. And other people turned up as well. Which I couldn't remember what I was going to say. I can't remember. Anyway, so they've arrived at Kobe Docks. There's the ship, the Ningpo, registered in Shanghai. Right, so we'll have a nosy round. But then we see some burly Japanese chaps, some tough. This is tough-looking Japanese people. They can't pull it off, can they? I know Japanese are amazingly tough. They can be, because like anybody else. But they just don't look it, do they? I don't know, any Japanese person could kick the crap out of me, but they don't look tough. They look kind of goofy. I'm sorry, but they do. But anyway, so they're going to have... they're going running for it, and he tells her, go back to Tiger and do something. I forgot what he says. So he starts shooting people. Is he going to say? He says it here. Look, contact Tanaka. What does he say to her? I forgot what he says. I'm not leaving you. And then he says, and then do this. And she goes, all right, then I will leave you then. Keep that ship shadowed. Right, go now. So off he goes. Meanwhile, some poor fellow just walking down some stairs. Oh, right, by the way, she goes down this rope. You see, her hair changes different lengths. Look, her hair's super long here. Look, halfway down the back. There we go. But then when she gets on the rope, oh, that's, again, super long. But then when she's on the rope, it's half as long. Obviously, a stunt person going down there. Do you think it's a woman or a bloke? I don't know. Anyway, this poor fella's just walking down the steps. Look, just hang on in a minute. There, see, she's off. She's a fast runner, isn't she? That's why she could run faster than him in the high heels. Here, she's got trainers on or whatever. She's off like bloody hell. Anyway, meanwhile, just some poor fella's just walking down the steps, minding his own business. Look, I'm walking down, bang, gets shot by James Bond, innocent bystander. That's what I'm saying. Even though he's got, I don't know what he's got in his hand. Something. I'm sure he's completely innocent, and James Bond's just murdered him. Shoots at some others, misses. All right, and then we get the famous rooftop fight. Set to John Barry's amazing music. Is this his James Bond theme? Is this his 007 theme? Might be. Yeah. Anyway, and then we cut to a helicopter shot. They'd use drones these days, wouldn't they? But a helicopter shot back then. And for years, me watching this on like VHS and then DVD, I've only recently started watching it in HD because I got the. I've got the Blu-rays now. I've not got the 4Ks, not got that far. Although I have bought some of them, including this, on Amazon. I think they might be in 4K. But not that you can tell much different. Anywho, I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, yes, I've watched this, and I've never noticed. I've always thought they made a mistake, but because I'm unobservant as well. But you see him taking on these chaps here. He takes on him, knocks him over. And then when he runs round here, goes round behind that building, he's picked something up, but I didn't realise, because then he goes up to this fella. And this fella just falls off. Oh, sorry. He just falls off. They're nowhere near him. But because that's it, this is HD, is this? You can see he's actually got something in his hand. He's got like a kendo stick or something. So he's whacking them with that. But I was thinking, they're just falling over and they're miles from him. I thought it was just bad fight choreography. But it's not. But if I were really paying attention, when it goes back to the close-up, we actually see he's carrying it. Look, he's got it there in his hand. And he actually throws it at him. There we go. I'm an idiot. But I always thought, bad fight choreography. But not, he was hitting him with his big stick. Anyway, he runs out, and then he, luckily, he drops down there. Boink. Luckily, it's just cardboard boxes and not like concrete or something like that. But anyway, does two of them, does another one, bang. And then we get a good old Texas switch. Because where the stuntman, because that's not Sean Connery, he scrambles off, ducks down, and then up jumps Sean Connery. It's totally different hairdos, aren't they? If you see it. I'm guessing this is Bob Simmons. I don't know, but I'm guessing it's Bob Simmons. Not Sean Connery, anyway. So he jumps up. Texas switch. And he walks off, cocksure, and then gets knocked out by this fella. Doink. So they caught him anyway. Right, so they take him to Helga's cabin on the Ningpo. She's got her own cabin on the Ningpo. This is where we learn she's number 11, by the way. I don't know if I've been told that before. But she's, Spectre number 11. I think we saw number 11 in Thunderball. Because remember the scene where they were giving their reports to Blofeld, to number 1. We saw number 9 and number 11, who were like the American ones who were supposed to be doing something with the mafia or something like that. And they got accused of embezzlement. And I think it was number 9 that got electrocuted in his chair. And number 11 didn't get electrocuted. So he either is be promoted or demoted. She's taken over his number anyway. So she's number 11 now. Anyway, so here she is. He's got him tied up with some flimsy-looking cord. But anyway, she gives him a slap, and then he's saying he was just nosying about because he used to be a sailor and he likes boats. But then she says she's going to basically slice his skin off, so she must be an expert torturer. And with the dermatome, she's going to slice skin off. But before that, they're going to shag, obviously. And he says, he's a spy, an industrial spy, and the secrets, Osata's secrets, are worth £300,000, and he'll share it with her if she helps him escape. So she says, Osato would kill me. Anyway, by the way, Karen Daw, who's German apparently, and obviously speaks fluent German, didn't do the German dub of her voice. They got another German actress in to do her voice in the German version, which is weird, isn't it? But anyway, she's like as though she's in on it. They're gonna do it obviously, and so she's making out she's gonna help him escape, and he does the old line, "The things I do for England." There you go. The things I do for England. Although he wouldn't, would he? 'Cause he's Scottish, isn't he? Actually, James Bond's Scottish, isn't he? Technically. But anyway. So like I said, they do it, and then presume the next day they fly out. Why? I don't know. Or whenever. I don't know when it is, to be honest. So remember, it's supposed to be setting off. The Ningpo is supposed to be setting off to Shanghai. So I'm guessing that's set off without her. She's got him off the boat, so to speak. And now they're in a plane heading to wherever. It's a very convoluted way of disposing of James Bond, because it's all a ruse. He's saying, "You're going to need protection and all that." And she says, "I'll be fine. I'll just do my lipstick. There we go. And then I'll drop a flare just to distract you. And then press some buttons and there we go. Trap you in your seat with this wooden board. That just well, that's sticking out the side of the plane, or it's stuck in the wing or something. I don't know, because it just comes out. Look, boing, there we go. So that's sticking out the side of the plane, or in the wing. I don't know. Anyway. And then she jumps out. She got there we go. I have to get off. But didn't I get you off last night? So off she jumps out with the parachute, and it's some really dodgy rear screen projection or blue screen, whatever. But he soon gets out of that. There we go. There, look. He's like, I'll be like, the plane's going to hit me. Anyway, but obviously, it doesn't. He gets out and he lands the plane. Here we go. Just manages to land it on a road, or maybe the very airfield they set off from. I don't know. It looks a lot to me like the same road from Thunderball. Where the Fiona Volpe was on her motorbike and she took out that fella who was trying to kill Bond. But it looks. I bet it's that same road. I bet it's like a private road or whatever. Or an airstrip that they use. But anyway, he gets out just in time. The plane blows up. And he heads back to Tiger. And the Tiger says, "Chasing girls will be the end of you, Bond-san. I have told you before." And he's like, "He didn't chase her. He did it so I could get away. You would never be with that horrible woman. Oh, heaven forbid." There you go. But anyway, right. So we're going to look at some photos of the Ningpo any minute now. There we go. One was taken this morning, one last night and one this morning, and we see that it's being unloaded because it's fully laden, and in one photo, there we go, fully laden there and empty there. So it's stopped off somewhere to be unloaded. So, as little Nelly arrived, he wants to look at that island now, because they found out where it was. From that other photo, they found out what island it was. I don't know if they tell us, but... So, here comes Q, Desmond Llewellyn as Q, and he explains he's actually got a gang of people with him to build Little Nelly. There we go. Does it come like this? Because it's in my notes. Hang on, bear with me. Bear with me if I can find it, for crying out loud. It's here somewhere. Hang on. For God's sake. Come on, Little Nelly, where are you in my notes? Oh, pardon me. I know it is in here somewhere. By the way, This film was the second highest grossing movie of 1967 after The Dirty Dozen. So there you go. I forgot what I want now. Oh, I'm looking for Little Nelly, wasn't I? Come on, you're here somewhere. Here we go. Right, Little Nelly was based on it wasn't based on it. Was real life Wallace autogyra. Its inventor, Wing Commander K.H. Wallace, actually flew Little Nelly in this movie. The machine was incorporated into the plot after production designer Ken Adam heard Wallace in a radio interview discussing his invention. Wallace had to log 85 flights in total to film the sequence, which we're going to see in a bit. It was filmed in the Japanese mountains except for one scene. The scene where the rockets were fired was filmed outside of Japan because Japanese law forbade the firing of rockets in the air. I thought it was finished off because of other factors, which we'll get into. But anyway. So here we go. We're going to see the building Little Nelly. Here we go. It's a toy helicopter. There we go. Bit of that stop motion animation. Mate. Just there we go. A toy helicopter. Take my helicopter, Bonsan. It's certainly not a toy. Right. So here we go. It's got machine guns. There we go. 2 machine guns fixed, synchronized to what? 100 yards using incendiaries and high explosives. Cool! And then also, there we go, 2 rocket launchers there. Twin firing, forward firing on either side. Fine. The next bit I don't get. I don't know. Does he mention the flamethrowers? I don't know. Anyway. Heat-seeking missiles. Heat-seeking air-to-air missiles. 60 a minute? What does it mean? I don't know what that means. Because there's only 2 of them. How can it be 60 a minute? I don't get it. Should that be the machine guns? 60 a minute? I don't know. I don't know. But I don't understand that line. 60 a minute. But anyway, heat-seeking air-to-air missiles. It's got. Does it mention anything else? Oh, right, there we go. Yes, flame guns. 2 of them firing astern. He does use those. 2 smoke ejectors next door, and what I've got, aerial mines. Got to be directly over your target. And I think that's it. There we go. And then for some reason, he points out there's a cine camera on the helmet. I don't know what relevance that has, because we don't see any film from his cine camera. Maybe in the script, I don't know, but the film, it's a cine camera. It's not like a video sending a signal somewhere else. They're just filming him. Anyway, off he goes. And I won't want to be this fella who sets this going, because you've got to get out of the way quick. So here we go. Are you ready? Oh. Hey, get out of the way! I would shit myself. I would. And they got a book, can't they? They got a starter motor. Anyway, so off he goes into the wide blue yonder over Japanese islands. Or this Japanese island, which is very volcanic, which were found by accident. It was found by accident. There were scouting locations in Japan. They were actually looking for castles. Because in the book, Blofeld's base is in a castle, a Japanese castle by the sea. But apparently there are no Japanese castles by the sea, no old ones, apparently. I don't know. But so they'll have to do something else. And they were flying about, they were scouting locations, looked for these castles, and they found all these volcanoes. Here we go. It's a very volcanic region, loads of volcanoes in it. And they said, right, there we go, that's a good shot, isn't it? Because there's cold air, there's loads of them. So cool, this is where the idea came for the volcano lair. Welcome to my volcanic lair, Mr. Bond, and all that. Which says nothing but volcanoes. But as he's flying along, we see his shadow there, the little Nelly, followed by other shadows of bigger helicopters. Here they come. So we're going to have a dogfight. So during this, while they were filming this, there were a tragic accident. Nobody died, thankfully, but during one of the shots, they had to have one helicopter above another helicopter, and something happened with the downdraft or whatever, and the lower helicopter must have got too close to the other one, and its rotors hit the other helicopter, and the cameraman, John Jordan, I'm thinking, is it John Jordan? I think it's in my notes, just bear with me. I'll have to do a search. Is it in there? There we go. Hang on. Is it there? It is. It's there. Yes, John Jordan. The rotor blade actually hit his leg and almost severed his foot, and so he was badly injured. Yeah, I think it says he actually filmed it. It says he panned his camera down, saw his leg almost hanging off. Oh, it was hanging off. And the helicopter were damaged and all that, but they managed to land it, and I think the other one managed to land as well. So nobody were killed, but he was really badly. He basically lost his foot, did John Jordan, the cameraman. So they took him to hospital, did sew his foot back on, but it never really took. It never got better after months and months and months. And he says, "Look, said to the doctors, let's just lose the foot." So obviously he must have got a prosthetic, and he did carry on working. He did. I think he did some work on Her Majesty's Secret Service. He did some of the helicopter stuff in that. But then in 1970, when they were filming Catch 22. They were filming, more an aerial unit cameraman. He actually fell 4,000 feet to his death. So that's sad, but that wasn't James Bond's fault. Right, anyway, where were we? Oh, yes, helicopters. Right, so he's fighting these helicopters. He's going to use all the arsenal at his command. So he begins first with the flamethrowers, I think. There we go. Cool flamethrowers. That takes that one out. There we go, crashes. Yeah, so some of it were filmed in Japan. Then after the accident, obviously they couldn't film anymore. Oh, pardon me. So when they carried on with the scene, they actually had to go to Spain and film it in Spain in a rocky mountainous area. Obviously not volcanic, but it did for the location. So don't ask me which bits are which are in Japan and which are in Spain. I don't know. That looks Spanish, doesn't it? But I could be wrong. Probably am. I bet that's Spain as well. But I don't know. Right, so he's going to take out some others now. I think he's used his machine guns at some point. But he's doing the aerial mines now. I wonder if this is the bit, with where the accident happened. I don't know. I've seen helicopters above other helicopters. I don't know. But anyway, there go the aerial mines. Blow up another helicopter. Boom. I think we see this shot twice. I think we see that shot twice. And they reuse that. I was using his smoke now, I think, or has he shot somebody else? Oh no, it's that one crashing into it. That's that one crashing with the aerial mines, and they're still shooting at him with their machine guns. What's next? What else has he got? Is there just one left now? There can't, because maybe there's two left. Look there, there's two left. So what has he got now? Oh, he's got his rocket launchers, hasn't he now? Not his heat seekers, because he uses them last. He's got his rocket launchers. Is he going to do it now? Or is he using his machine guns there? Now he's going to use his rocket launchers any minute. There they go. Now then, is that the same shot? It maybe, I don't know. It looks that, I think it's a different angle. It might be the same shot or the same explosion, but with a different camera. Maybe. I bet it is. Maybe not. It might not be. Anyway, obviously models are there. But anyway, whatever. And then the last one he got with the heat-seeking missiles. 60 a minute, whatever that means. I don't know. But there they go. And they go round and get that helicopter. Cool stuff. Just like Blue Thunder or Airwolf. Diddly, 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 diddly. Right, so off he goes. He says, "Little Nelly did well, bless her bones." Anyway, meanwhile, the Soviets are launching another rocket, another capsule into space. And obviously, at this time, I'm guessing in 1967, 66 when it was filmed, whatever, the Soviets, had we seen footage of Soviet launches? I don't know. Maybe not. Because they don't show one. They show... They're getting ready. There we go. Obviously, this is not Baikonur. Where's Baikonur now? Kazakhstan or whatever it is. It's obviously, Florida or whatever, in Cape Canaveral. A Titan rocket with a Gemini capsule on top of it. it's obviously it's not a Soviet, it's not a Vostok rocket, is it? It is Vostok, isn't it? They use. But anyway, and you can see that the capsule that they see in space is not a Soviet capsule, because they're like round, they're like balls, aren't they? Essentially. But anyway, off it goes. This Soviet rocket. They must have stolen the plans for the Titan rocket. Anyway, meanwhile, there we go. Hang on, where are we? So what are we? Right, so that's the Soviet. Yes, that's the Soviet capsule, isn't it? Because it says CCP on, or CCCP. One of these astronauts, I'm not sure, cosmonauts, sorry, is the stuntman. Well, I think it is Dickie Graydon, because it says in the cast list. Let me scroll down. Richard Graydon, yes, astronaut, cosmonaut, Russian spacecraft, but I don't know which one. Don't know which one it is. I think it's him, because he does the speaking. He doesn't, and he's speaking in Russian. So Dickie Graydon, one of the stuntmen on James Bond films. I think he did Moonraker. I think he was the stuntman. I could be wrong. You know, they did the cable car scene on Moonraker. Almost fell to his death because they couldn't have any cables and stuff. I think that was Dickie Graydon. Anyway, whatever. I think that's him. The other one's speaking in Russian, going "Krasnyaste, and all that. I can't speak Japanese. I can't speak Russian, but I can sound Japanese or Russian. Right. So anyway, so they're all talking, and we see there's a UFO ski approaching. Are they going to show it this time? There it is. There it is. It comes up behind and swallows up the Soviet capsule. So there it is. And but luckily nobody were outside at that time, so at least they haven't lost a man, have they, like the Americans did. And I think it's going to show it coming back now. So they've lost their capsule. Yeah, it's going to show it coming back now. There we go. It fires some retros, and down it goes. It's just like SpaceX, isn't it? Silver. So down it goes. There we go. Some cool. There we go. We see a bit of the old heat shield stuff going on. Cool visual effects. And down it comes. There we go. It gets rid of its. What they call it? Its heat shield. They get rid of it. Anyway, whatever. For the retros, because it's going slow enough now, it doesn't need the heat shield. And then we got this is where we discover that it's a volcano lair, because it retracts as the water. It's not a lake in a volcano, it's an underground lair. Look, wow. And here we are in Ken Adams, probably his most iconic set that he's ever built. Cost $1 million in 1967. I'm sure it's in the trivia somewhere. If it were built now, it'd have been like $17 million. But yeah, it cost $1 million. And it did his designs. I don't know how many. It's in my notes. Like 50 different sketches or something like that. I've got it in here somewhere. Just bear with me. Can't find it. Oh, 379. The volcano base was the result of 379 conceptual drawings. So he took his drawings to Cubby, and I presume Harry Saltzman as well, and said, how much would it cost to build this set? And he said, I might be able to do it for $1 million, expecting them to say, no, you won't. You do it for less than that. But they said, no, you get $1 million. If you can build it for $1 million, we'll give you $1 million. And he did. And there we go. He used loads of structural steel, and it's got a working monorail and a rotating helicopter pad and all that. It's cool. That's a proper James Bond. The you could say, you know, the I can't remember the word now. The perfect. That's the word I'm going to use. I can't think of the word I was thinking of. Perfect villain's lair, isn't it? Although you can tell, you know, they wanted to get the lake there, but it's obviously, you know, they've had to angle it, haven't they, to make it look as though it's taller than it is. It's supposed to be inside of a volcano, for God's sake, but obviously it's Not a very big volcano, is it? But anyway. Yeah, so there we go. It's kind of reminiscent of the set in Doctor No. You know, whereas it's not Strangways, the fellow that killed Strangways, I think. In Doctor No, he goes to report to Doctor No, and they put him in a room that looks like this. It's like a mini version of this set. Anyway, so here comes the rocket. Here comes the rocket. They're going to show it? No, not yet, because the Pentagon's having talks. The Russians are kicking off, saying we've got nothing to do with it. All the generals and people, and I think he was in Fantastic Voyaging, wasn't he? I think. Oh, look there. There's Doctor Floyd. What's his first name? Can't remember. From 2001. That's him, isn't it? I can't remember the name of the actor. Does it say? Let's check. Does it say? I know when I see it. I think. Bear with me. I know his name when I see it. All right, so Fraser Hines is in this one, but he does a voice. He does a voice. Fraser Hines, if you don't know, he was in the popular soap opera Emmerdale Farm. He was also Jamie, one of the second Doctor's companions. Anyway, I forgot what I'm looking for. Oh, yes, him. I know his name when I see it. He says. Oh, God. Well, it is William Sylvester. That's the fella. That's William Sylvester who plays Dr. What's his first name? Dr. Floyd from 2001. The same character was played by... oh, God, what am I like? The Jaws man. Chief Brody in 2010. Anyway, where were we? Right, so let's say it's all kicking off. They've gone to DEFCON, whatever. Look, plane. Hang on, where are we? Where is it? Not showing it now. Never mind. Planes are taking off, bombers and stuff. They're getting ready to go to World War III. Here comes the capsule coming in. I know. I bet a young Elon Musk were watching this and thinking, "I'm going to do this for real," and he bloody did, didn't he? I bet he wanted to build a volcano base. I bet he does. I bet before he pops his clogs, maybe he won't. He'll transfer his mind into one of his robots before his body packs in. He'll have a volcano lair. He will, if he hasn't got one already. Anyway, down it comes. It lands. Never mind the cable. Never mind. You can't see that. It's concealed by smoke. But anyway, so here we go. Everything's hunky dory. They use the extractor fan to get rid of the smoke. We can see that there we go. They've got just like in Spy Who Loved Me on the ship that had that sort of thing. I said that they're all remakes of each other. Impregnable shield we see later. Right, so they're going to take this out. Don't show how this works, because you see this clamp thing coming down, and we see it's got that ring there that's at the top of it. You see it's at the top of that, but then when it's connected, I want to see the mechanism of how it works. Is it magnetic or what? I don't know. See, but now it's gone down, look, and then it's lifting it up now, but that ring has gone to the bottom of these legs, look. I want to see how it works, but it doesn't show us. Anyway, so I'm guessing that tightened it up or something, or it's magnet. I don't know, but anyway, they're lifting it out. But like I say, I don't think Russian capsules looked like that back in the 60s, or even now. What were they called? Soyuz capsules. They've used down there since the 60s. They're still basically the same, aren't they? Yeah. I said they're basically a ball, aren't they? At the end, there's like two parts to them. There's a Soyuz spaceship. There's the I suppose you call it the service module, I suppose, and there's the crew part, which is a ball, isn't it? And that's the part that comes off and comes back to Earth and lands in Siberia, wherever they're landing. But yeah, don't look like that. Anyway, that's by the by. Right, so they get these chaps out and take them off, put them in prison, and it's where we see that it's Blofeld is there with his cat, this poor cat, whose owners threatened to sue, and maybe they did sue, I don't know, but of the mental fatigue that this cat went through, as we'll see later. And there's Bert Cook as henchman. Oriental henchman number 1. You may know him more famously from Pink Panther films and voiceovers for series like The Water Margins and stuff like that. Anyway, there he is. We don't see his face yet. There's the monorail. It's all cool. And this is it Hans? Yeah, I think that's Hans, who is the henchman. And we see these two chaps. I'm guessing maybe are they from China? Supposed to be from China or somewhere like that. They've provided the equipment to Spectre. I don't know, but anyway. But he wants more money from them. He wants $100 million or something. But first, he's going to show off his piranhas. Justin's here saying Happy New Year, Justin. Hope you've had a great New Year's Day. Anyway, he's just feeding some meat to his piranhas. There's the cat watching, and then we go, just pull out a bone. Strip a man to the bone in 30 seconds, and they're thinking, what's he showing us this for? But anyway, so he wants, $100 million in gold bullion. That's my impression of Burgess Meredith in The Amazing Captain Nemo. Deposited in our account in Buenos Aires. Think about it, he says, and buggers off. So they bugger off, thinking about it. Anyway, so Osato and number 11, they've got to report, and then we learn that it shows them a picture of the Walther PPK. Says, do you know what kind of gun this is? It's Walther PPK. I said, only one man I know uses this kind of gun. No, he don't. All the double O's use them. Anyway, it's a James Bond. There we go. But Bond is dead. It was in all the newspapers. Well, apparently he's not. Why I don't get it. Because there's other double O's. It could be one of them. Anyway, apart from the woman. Thank you, Justin. $2 super sticker. Thank you very much. I'll have to go and check what it is over there because it doesn't show it there. I don't know what it is. It's something happy that's dancing, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Justin. That's hugely kind of you. Anyway, so they're all passing the book. Oh, you see he's got his Spectre ring on, just like Largo had the Spectre ring. He's got the number 1 Spectre ring. And so Osato's saying, I told number 11 to kill him, and she didn't, and all that stuff. And so he says, okay, well, go now. We do not tolerate failure in this organisation. And so he goes to Osato, and then she sets off. And then, but there we go. He's got his sewing machine out. It's the thing for the sewing machine, isn't it? It's not even plugged in, look. But anyway, he presses the thing, look. And badoing! Oh no, the piranhas are getting fed again. Wouldn't it be funny, like, because they've just eaten, they didn't bother with her, they just swam off. And she's just like saying, I'm wet through, can you get me out? And the piranhas aren't bothering with her. But no, they get her, look. Ah! Poor Helga. They've been eaten by piranhas. Oh, right, and then we get my second favourite line in this film. Hang on. Is it now?
Kill Bond now.
Kill Bond now. And my favourite line is later on. Is goodbye, Mr. Bond. But we'll get to that. Anyway, right. So where are we now? Back in Japan somewhere. Oh, right, we're in. I think are we in Kyoto now? I'm not sure. Let's have a look at the locations list. Does it say where is this? Bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum. Looking for this castle. What is it called? I can't remember what they call it. But it's near the top. But I didn't notice it. Yes, I did. It's here. Himeji Castle. Himeji, Japan. Don't say where that is. I thought I'd heard somebody mention Kyoto. Where's he? Oh, excuse me. Where's Himeji? Oh, excuse me. Himeji, Japan. It's in the Kansai region of Japan. Is that near Kyoto? I have no idea. In the Hyogo Prefecture. Right, fair enough. Where is that though? I have no idea. Does it show us on a map? No. Oh, it's in the south of Japan, so it's not near Kyoto then. Anywho, that's that. This is Tanaka's ninja base or whatever. Here he is arriving. They're waiting for him. They're going to train him as ninjas. Here's his ninjas, and he's watching them doing their stuff. Hiya! Making loads of noise. I thought ninjas were supposed to be stealthy, but no, these are all shouting and bawling. Particularly this fella. He's got high blood pressure, if you watch his face. Oh, well, there we go. Blood pressure's through the roof. Hiya! And this fella, one of these, I don't know, but he's got a nice little song he's singing. Yeah, I don't know what he's saying, but he's having a whale of a time, him, isn't he? With his kendo sticks. And this fella, I don't understand how this fight works, because it just takes out all these. Obviously, it's not real. It's not really killing them. They're just training. But how do they know? Is it? I'm guessing it's not a sharp sword. And they just feel, when they feel it touch them, they just fall over dead. Because there we go. Look. But apparently we see this again, this exact same choreography at the end. Because this fella, him in blue, is one of the ninjas that attacks the volcano lair at the end. And he does this exact same thing with some of... I'm guessing they're probably the same men, but dressed up as, Spectre bad guys. But anyway, it takes out all these, and not really, because it's just training. It takes out that one, because we see that again as well, and then he doesn't chop his head in half, thank goodness. And luckily we don't see him chop somebody else's head in half later on. But then we see him now. You have seen the old-fashioned way. Now we see modern ninjas. So anyway, so here we go, with their rocket guns. And I don't understand. Which was a real thing. It's in my notes, which were a real thing. And I thought, that bullets, rocket bullets anyway? Isn't that the way that they work? I don't know, but cause I know nothing about guns. But it's in my notes, so bear with me while I search through my disorganised notes for this. Anyway, where were we? Boom. By the way, we only see Aki driving that white car that had its roof taken off. She couldn't drive, so in the shots where we had to see her face, why did they just get a woman that looked a bit like it? I don't know, but who could drive. But no, they had they pulled it along with a cable. Anyway, stuntmen also substituted for her in long camera shots by donning black wigs. Anyway, what am I looking for? These rocket bullets. It says here somewhere. I've got it here. Somewhere in my notes. By the way, the title of the film, so I'll forget to read this. The title comes from a poem included in the novel. It goes, "You only live twice, once when you are born, and once when you look death in the face," which apparently is a haiku. I've not counted the syllables. In the novel, the poem was written by James Bond for his friend Tiger Tanaka. Due to a badly worded attribution, I don't know how to pronounce it, at the front of the novel, the poem is sometimes incorrectly believed to have been written by Japanese poet Basho Matsuo. So is that like the death is a revenge is a dish best served cold. Old Klingon proverb at the beginning of Kill Bill. Is that sort of thing? It is clarified in the novel that it should not be considered a haiku at all. It is a poor attempt at writing poetry by Bond after being taught how to do so. The novel and its epigraph explain that the haiku is after basho, written in the style, I'm probably mispronouncing that by the way, written in the style of the famous 17th century Japanese poet. Yes, we've all heard of Basho Amatsuo, haven't we? What am I looking up? Oh, rocket bullets. Oh, dear. It's here somewhere. I know it's in my notes. I can yawn. Come on, bloody hell. Is this it? Right, here we go. The rocket pistol and cigarette rocket were real-life weapons that were featured after the manufacturer paid for the product placement. So, like I say, a company actually paid for these in the film. It was hoped they would become standard military and intelligence equipment. However, they proved to be too expensive. Ammunition cost 3 times as much as normal ammo. Clumsy, useless at any distance over 15 yards. In this, I think he says 30 yards, I think. And unreliable, horribly inaccurate, and tended to start fires. And ceased production in 1969. So they lasted, what? I don't know, we'll say 3 years. 66 to 69, we'll say. Bloody useless. Anyway, right, so here we go. Rocket bullets. There we go. Bang. So it starts a fire. I mean, what? I don't know, because apparently the bullets move slower than a regular bullet. So I don't know the point of them. Anyway. And there we go. There's one built into a cigarette. I'd rather not, you know. But they always do it. You know, it can save your life, this cigarette. Accurate up to 30 yards? I don't think so. Anyways, that's back when smoking were good for you. So I'd always think of that Harry Enfield sketch. Now then, Mrs. Cummins, you've got a very weak heart. Cigarette? Now I'm going to prescribe you 40 a day, no exercise, and 10 pints of whiskey a day, or whatever. Remember, no exercise and plenty of sausages. Whatever, right, so. Yes, it's also, they're going to make him look Japanese, and he's also got to take a Japanese wife. So he's thinking, yeah, I'm going to marry Aki. Says, no, you're going to marry somebody who's got a face like a pig. So anyway. So, but first, they make him look Japanese, and boy, do they do a good job of it. Eyepieces to Hera. What? Who's Hera? She's the Greek goddess. I don't understand that bit. But there we go. They make him look Japanese, look. Is it the same ones that were bathing him earlier? I think it is, isn't it? But it says, can't you just dye the parts that show? So we think, so they're obviously going to shave his chest. But they obviously don't, because we see him, unless he's Sean Connery, he can grow like hair at will. Apart from on his head. So I'm guessing they don't shave him. But anyway, so here he is. Hang on, let's show him. Here, his big reveal. This is the new Japanese Sean Connery. It looks exactly the same. They've just brushed his hair forward, and that's it. That's it. Yes, you look very Japanese. Look, they haven't even shaved it. You can see his chest hair still sticking out the top of his, whatever they're called, his dressing gown. It's not a kimono, is it? But whatever. Anyway, they'll do everything Japanese style. Oh, I missed the bit earlier on when they were bathing them, where Tiger says, in Japan, men come first, women come second. And I was like, Austin Powers. Or sometimes not at all. Anyway. Right, so they're at it again. Is Aki and James. Meanwhile, this fella slinks in like a snake. One of Spectre's ninjas. Here he comes, sliding along. And he's going to, with a thread, he lowers a thread down to James Bond. So obviously they know, even though he's disguised and they think he's Japanese, they know he's there. So anyway, so some poison comes down, which is actually based on a historical assassination attempt of Oda Nobunaga. way back when we're in the 1500s. I only know of him because of Onimusha Warlords, that game that had Nobunaga in it, didn't it? I think another game has as well, but I can't remember which one. Is it the Neo games? Or is it, I can't remember. Or might be Ghost of Tsushima. I can't remember. Anyway, whatever. He's famous, he's Nobunaga, isn't he? But it didn't work because he moved. Anyway, which James Bond does. The poison slides down the thread. It's supposed to go in James Bond's mouth, and just as it's about to, it moves, and she moves right into the path of it, because she loves James, and even in her sleep she gives her life for him. So there we go. So she gets that, she licks that, and then dies. Ah, poor Aki. Poisoned, so it doesn't grieve for very long. You know what James Bond's like. So you're almost ready. She's dead. Oh, never mind. Because remember, women come second in Japan. Oh, not at all. Anyway, so he carries on with his training because the show must go on. So he's fighting this fella because he looks Japanese now. I don't think we see James Bond doing this. Doing. There we go. Just the fella just falls over unconscious. Knocked himself out. Anyway. So, see them doing all this, all the training. Anyway, so James Bond gets disarmed. There we go. And he goes, "Oh, you got me. Ha ha ha. Arigato," and all that stuff. But then, no, he's got a bloody knife sticking out of his kendo stick or whatever, his bamboo thing. So he goes, "Oh," so he's got to fight him, and he stabs him to death. There's James, obviously. "You killed him." "Yeah, he tried to kill me." "Take my word for it. Hang on, this man is a stranger from outside." Anyway, so they've got to go and carry on now. Get on with it. So that Spectre knows something's up. So they head to the island where he's going to get married to somebody who looks like a pig. This is where we meet Mihama. Any minute now. Look, how Japanese does he look? Nobody suspects a thing. He's the most Japanese-looking person ever. Anyway, that's what they're all thinking. Look, does anybody think look, he can barely tell him apart from all these other Japanese people. Anyway. So here she is. Here's Mihama as Kissy. There she is. Did I say earlier on? Mihama and Akiko Wakabayashi were both in King Kong vs. Godzilla, the original from 1964. They were both in that. I think they've been in some other Toho films as well, but maybe not at the same time. But they were both in King Kong vs. Godzilla. Anyway. So he's getting married to her. So he thinks, oh, she's actually not that bad. Bit of a nutter, because she threatened to throw herself out of a hotel window and they threatened to fire her. So if you're ever in a film and they threaten to fire you, just say, all right, I'll just throw myself out of my hotel window. Because it worked for her. Anyway, so he gets married to Kissy. It must be, lots of people getting married at the same time. There must be Moonies. I don't know. I know that's Korea, I know. It must be a Shinto thing. So there we are, all getting married, giving vows in Japanese, and all that stuff, drinking the rice wine, etc. And off they go. Oh, right, by the way, there's also going to be like 100 ninjas sneaking in as workmen and fishermen with Tiger. Getting ready to assault the volcano lair, which they don't know is there yet. But they're getting ready anyway. Right, I think this is where we learn. I think that somebody's died. A girl went diving and she went into a. Somebody's died, innit? They went into a cave, and when they came out, they were dead. So that's the gossip from the women. Right, so they go to Kissy's house. There we go. My friend has made us some food. Remember, she's not speaking in this one. Akiko Wakabayashi, we hear her voice, but here we're hearing Nikki van der Zyl again. But anyway, She says, I'll sleep in there, you'll sleep over there. He says, we're supposed to be married. I said, no, you gave false name to priest. This is business. So he says, I won't be needing these then. There we go. These oysters, I won't need them anyway. They're bloody horrible. I'm not a seafood fan. Shellfish. I'm not a shellfish fan. I'm not a shellfish man. Anyway, so he's watching, probably thinking, I hope nobody's going to poison her in the night. But Tiger comes running along. And we learn that the Americans are launching their next rocket earlier. There we go. And they're giving a warning. They're giving a warning to the Russians that, if anything happens to this one, it'll be war. And all the bombers are launching and all that stuff. She's saying, an armour girl, that's what they call the divers, rowed her boat into Ryazaki and she came out dead. So they're going to check it out. So off they go. By the way, I think it's this scene where we see the girls diving into the water. The girl, the stunt woman, I think she was a Japanese stunt woman, for some reason wouldn't do it that day. I don't know if she wasn't there. Or something had happened, but there was some reason that they couldn't find somebody to do this scene, and apparently Hammer or whatever, I don't know, can't swim well enough or whatever, I don't know. So Sean Connery's wife, whose name I've forgotten, Diane Cilento, something like that. Bear with me. I'll just have to search because it's in my notes again. Diane. There we go. Diane Cilento, Connery's then wife, doubled for Hammer and Akiko Wakabayashi. Well, I don't know about that because she wanted any. In the swimming sequences, as neither of them could swim. But there were another reason. Something to do with the stunt woman either wouldn't or couldn't do it that day. So Diane Cilento doubled for all the swimming Japanese women. And that rhymes. So there we go. So that's Sean Connery's wife there, under the sea. Right, so off they go into this cave where that other woman died, and then they get a whiff of phosgene gas. What does phosgene gas smell of? I have no idea. Can we find out? Because he says it, phosgene gas. There we go. Phosgene gas. It smells like freshly cut hay, green corn, or musty hay at low concentrations. But this odour is unreliable as an alert because people can become used to it. But, like I said, not in a Japanese cave, I suppose. But there we go. So he says, let's jump out and swim away. So I'm guessing that's Sean Connery's wife there as well. Let's have a look. It could be. Might be. So they've got away with that. And we saw the sulphur on the wall, so it's obviously some sort of vent, volcanic vent. So they're going to go check that volcano out. I'm going to look what that volcano is. Here we go. Mount Shinmudake, which is in Kagoshima, Japan. The exterior for Blofeld's volcano lair, which apparently, maybe it was dormant, I don't know. It was one of them with a lake in, but apparently it erupted at some point quite recently. Well, the last 20 years or something like that. I'm sure it did. I'm sure I read that somewhere. Anyway, right, so they're going to go climb that volcano. So I don't know how long it's going to take them, but they're off. They're on the way in their climbing gear. Must be like being in like Snowdonia or somewhere, some nice place where you can just walk up mountains. Some honeymoon, but they're going to snog. But then a helicopter comes, there we go, and they say, where's that helicopter going? And they go and check it out. They see it descending to the caldera. And so they go running, and they see that it's closed by the time they get there. And they see there's just the water there, the caldera lake. And he says, it's not active, is this volcano? He says, well, not in my lifetime. And he says, well, there's something hot's been here, because remember the rockets landed in there, because all the smoke and stuff and steam. But anyway, see, there's another launch. I've no idea what sort of rocket that is, but anyway, whatever. It's not a Titan, is it? I don't know what that is. Let's find out. US rocket launch in You Only Live Twice. Right. Bum, 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 bum. Time for a wee. Now then, here we go. Let's have a look. The first one we saw, which was supposed to be the Soviet one, was a Titan rocket, but that obviously isn't, is it? Unless it's a different brand. I don't know. Do you know what? I'm going to have to go to the loo. Just bear with me. I'm trying to find out what sort of rocket that is. I don't know. Or Mercury, I don't know. Yes, Gemini. Well, I don't know, because like I said, the Titan had a Gemini on top, didn't it? But I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to go to the loo. Bear with me. Think about it while I'm gone. I'll be 2 minutes. That were close, wasn't it, Princess? It was. I'm back. Now then. We're trying to find out what this rocket is. Is it going to tell us? I'll just Control F and see if it finds rocket. Control F. Rocket. There we go. When the Russians launched their ship. That's a Titan. Yeah, we know that. No, it doesn't say in that. Never mind. I'm curious as to what rocket it is. Hey, let's have a look. What's that one? Sorry, I'm looking at some pictures of rockets. Is it an Atlas? No, it could be. Oh no, is that it there? Juno. Is it a Juno rocket? I'm not sure. Not sure. No, I don't think it is. I'm looking at some pictures of rockets. Bum 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 bum. Oops. List of rockets of the United States. Right, so let's have a look from the 60s. Crikey, they've got a lot of different sorts of rockets. Could it be a Delta? Let's have a look. I think it is. I think it's a Delta C. I think it is. I think it's a Delta C rocket which launched satellites and stuff. Could be. We'll say that. Anyway, whatever. Right, so where were we? where we? Oh, why this? The Americans are launching their next one. Why are they just not launching, another Titan? I don't know, but whatever. Off it goes. There's that fella that's in Fantastic Voyage with Raquel Welch. He plays one of the generals or something, doesn't he? In that, I've seen him in something else as well, but I can't think about. And there's Dr. Floyd from 2001. Haywood, Dr. Haywood Floyd. It came to me eventually. Who's that? Who's that? Don't know. I thought that was a picture of Ian Fleming there for a minute, but I don't think it's. I think it's a president, but I can't remember which one. Anyway, right, so off that goes. They're sneaking back. It's night time now, look. And then he's saying, is that deep? And he throws a rock, and we see doink, we hear metal. So it's not water, it's metal. And then I think it starts opening in a minute. Because it goes out onto it, there we go, and it starts moving. So he thinks, right, go get Tiger and all that. I'm going to sneak in and do some spy stuff, because that helicopter's it's taking off. The helicopter that landed is taking off. So she's running off in her mountaineering gear, in her mountaineering bikini. Meanwhile, he just happened to have all of his ninja outfit underneath his fishing stuff. I don't know, but anyway, so he's all togged up, ready to go. Has he got knee suckers or something? So he can hang. He has, hasn't he? He's got knee suckers on, so he can hang on to the underside of like some sort of Spider-Man. Anyway, so here he is. He's sneaking into the base. There goes all that stuff. There's the Americans. They're getting ready to launch this thing. They've even painted it up because they want to be super deceptive. The previous times they launched it, it didn't have any livery on, and now they've put the Soviet thing on, so that the Americans think it's the Russians doing it. Anyway, so he's sneaking about. Nobody can see him because he's in his ninja gear. Because he's grey, he just blends in to everything. Nobody sees him because nobody's got any peripheral vision, so he's hiding. Look. Anyway, so he arrives. Happens to find the astronauts. So I'm guessing this is 2 Soviets and 1 American. I don't know, but anyway. But none of them speak Russian. I don't think they do anyway. Do they? Hang on. No, it just says, "Who the hell are you?" But it doesn't say. It must be the American one.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah, I'm guessing the other 2 are the Soviet ones that were captured. But said, I'm James Bond. I'm here to rescue you. Aren't you a little short aren't you a little tall for a Japanese man? Actually, I think all his Japanese stuff's washed off now, by the way. When he jumped in the water. It's all washed off. So now he looks like James Bond again. Not like a regular Japanese person. But anyway. So he's... I was going to do a Stargate thing, and I forgot the names, Windgrace, Stand easy. We're here to rescue you. That one. I forgot the names. Anyway, the other guys, or whatever it's called. Anyway, so they fight off some henchmen. She's swimming somewhere, nearly getting shot. Anyway, so here they are in disguise. They're going to pose as astronauts now. Look, they're getting James Bond ready. Why don't they go? So is he prepared to go into space to stop this thing happening? Does he know what to do? So like I said before, Moonraker, this is James Bond nearly went into space, but not quite. So off he goes. Nobody recognises him. Nobody say, "Hang on, you're not Bill," or whatever. But see, he's getting ready to go in, and because he's going to get in the capsule with his air conditioning unit, they realise he's not an astronaut. So as you can see, look, the cat's been at Blofeld's arm. So they bring that astronaut here. So they get the alternate astronaut, and anyway, so the James Bond. Allow me to introduce myself as a throttle me cat. It does worse than that later. because that cat's not happy. There we go. There's Donald Pleasance as Ernst Stavro Blofeld. I want to know what happens between now and on Her Majesty's Secret Service when he transmogrifies into my favourite actor, Telly Savalas. Anyway, whatever. So here we go. So they're all getting ready to do these dastardly plots. And he also, I think it does point out that there is an exploder button. He does say at some point. But he says, you can watch it here. We're going to start the World War III or whatever. You can watch it on TV. It says, if I'm forced to watch television, may I smoke? In a minute. As it launches, off it goes. Boo! I wouldn't want to be this close to a rocket launch. There's hiding behind this Land Rover. Well protected. Anyway, off it goes. But cool effects. I think it's okay. Off it goes. Right, so here we go. All the ninjas are here now. Look, they're getting ready. Look, it's a multi-stage rocket. Look, cool. Anyway, right. So does the other stage burn up, or does that come back as well? Is it fully reusable? Who knows? Anyway, so there are men in the crater. Use the machine guns. Oh no, taking out the ninjas. Luckily, there's lots of them. So they're going to blow their way in. Here we go. You can watch it on TV. That's it. There's enough firepower to annihilate a small army. You can watch it on TV. So, well, if I'm got forced to watch television, may I have a cigarette? It won't be the nicotine that kills you, Mr. Bond. But remember, he's got his rocket cigs. So who's he going to shoot? Why don't you just shoot Blofeld? No, just shoot some random bloke there. Look, a red shirt. Not technically, literally a red shirt. He shoots him. I think. There we go. And then starts a fight. Because he's opening the thing now, look. That's what he did. He pulled the lever to open the crater so that the ninjas can get in. Here they go. Right, so one of these stuntmen breaks his ankles. They're trying to work out how to get him to come down these lines without burning their hands. They ended up using rubber hoses that could grip. And they could come down as fast or slow as they wanted. And one of them came down a bit too fast and broke both his ankles. And maybe we can see who it was. Maybe it's here, I don't know. Let's have a look. One of them falls over and doesn't get back up. I don't know which one it was. I don't know. Maybe it's him. Let's have a look. Do you reckon it were him? Because he looked a bit floppy in his feet, didn't he? I bet it were him. Dickhead. Anyway, right. So action begins. They're going to blow a hole in this as well so some more can get in. And here we go. Shooting and all that stuff. Blowing up and explosions. Blofeld's going to make a run for it, by the way. She's changed out of a mountaineering bikini, and now she's in a assault on a fortified place bikini. Anyway, so it's all shooting, it's all cool and stuff like that. And this is the fella. Look, this is in from earlier. It does it. They've got exactly the same moves as the previous thing. Even the last fella, he flips him over and he doesn't chop his head off. I think he just stabs him. Yeah, you get ready for doing the flip over. I think it's him in the red, maybe. There we go. There we go. Runs him through. Doesn't cut his head in half. But yeah. And I'm guessing it were all the same stuntmen as well or whatever. That switched sides for some reason. Anyway, so it's all blowing up and it's all kicking off. This cat is not happy in this scene. We see an explosion there. It's supposed to be impregnable with the shutters closed, but there's an explosion there. This cat's not happy. Watch it in a minute. Anyway, so he's heading to his executive suite or whatever. And at some point he does say, he points to it, this is the exploder button. At some point he does point that out. Justin says, I love Connery in his Bond films. He's amazing. But I'm a Roger fan, because Roger were my Bond growing up. But there's Shane Rimmer. It's all going to kick off. Planes are in the air, etc. Hang on, I've missed it, haven't I? I've missed it where the cat's not happy. Let's go back again. Where is it? Is it this bit? I think it's this bit. This cat's not happy. Look, Donald Pleasant's got to hold on to this. You ready? Watch its eyes bulging. Look, it's not happy. Look, it's holding that cat. Let me out. He's got to hold on to that cat tight. And apparently it didn't want to go. Apparently it was a cat that had been used a lot. Its owners, managers, I suppose you could say, used it a lot in like commercials and stuff for cat food and all that. But after this, it didn't want to go anywhere near a film set. It must see cameras or something. It probably freaked out. But anyway, so they succeeded in suing Eon Productions or whatever for the mental anguish this cat's having right now. Look, because he's grabbing on it. Anyway. At some point, he does point out there's an exploder button. Is it here? It must have been earlier on. We've probably skipped over it. But he does point it out that there's an exploder button. Yeah. Anyway. Right. So they head in here and says, "Give me your gun." Says, "This is the price of failure, Mr. Bond." By the way, the cat runs for it. I think it may be the noise of the gun going off or whatever, I don't know, but he's holding tight, isn't he? You think he's going to shoot Bond, but he shoots Osato instead, and this cat just runs for it, and we never see it again. That cat seemed to like the henchman, didn't it? It went straight between his legs. Meanwhile, yeah, that cat was mad. It wasn't happy, was it? Windgrace is a James Bond Jr. guy himself, of course. I know it's a cartoon in it. I've never seen it. Anyway, so they're heading to his secret passage or whatever, and there we go. It's my favourite line of the film.
Goodbye, Mr. Bond.
It's the delivery. I just love it. I don't know why. Goodbye, Mr. Bond. And he's about to shoot James Bond, but Tiger throws a throwing star at him. It's a wonder that didn't get banned in the UK. I wonder if it were edited out. Because they didn't like stuff like that. The British censors didn't like throwing stars and nunchucks and stuff like that. But anyway, I don't know. Anyway, so he gets away, though. There's Blofeld. I don't know. Do we see him again? I don't think we see him again. He's just got away. I don't know how he gets away. Meanwhile, the chaps from the control room are just legging it. They've given over control to the astronauts in the spaceship, so they can run for it now. So there we go. So they're running for it, and they see him coming out, and there we go. There must be another way up there. They've got to get to press the exploder button. Your turtles can't even be ninja. No, they couldn't. They were hero turtles. I think I think they even changed the song, because I think the song even said mutant ninja hero turtles or whatever. I think they even changed the song. Anyway, yeah. I think it's all changed now, though. A different regime. James Bond Jr. Classic. I've never seen it. Anyway, so they've got to fight their way up to the alternate entrance to the control room, and here he goes. What was it? Bling, another throwing star. They must have got away with it. I don't know how, but so he's going to have a fight with Hans, who's the odd job of this film, I suppose you could say. Well, mate. Obviously, we know he's going to go in with the piranhas. What's he doing? Oh, he's getting him, and there we go. He goes in, knocks him into the water. There we go. Here he goes, and whoop, missed. Way, just like the Royal Rumble, WWE. You get him over the top rope. They always do that, don't they? Whoop, get over. But luckily, in wrestling, you don't have piranhas. So they should do that, shouldn't they? Piranha match. Anyway, so he's going to get got by the piranhas. Getting well fed today. Got this high technology in the corner there. Anyway, the spaceship's coming to eat the American capsule. Brits don't like violence but love naughty stuff. Americans violence, we love it. Naughty stuff, no. Yes, because we're complete opposites. Connery's Bond was always ready to throw hands. Yes. He was ready for the dust-up. Anyway, so he's got into the control room. He's got to find the exploder button. So it's fast approaching. The code word is imminent. Is that the code word, or do they mean they are imminently going to say the code word? I don't know. But anyway, here it comes. Look, it's coming to get the American Gemini capsule. But luckily, he gets the thing off just in time. 13 seconds. Is it this one where it stops at 07, or does it stop at 01? Because in Goldfinger it stopped at 007, didn't it? Let's see what happens. We're on 11. 7, 8, I can't even read. Oh no, it doesn't. 6. And then it blows up. Is it going to show us? Hang on, come back again. There we go. 5. Oh, for Pete's sake. It just showed us. 5. Why not 7? Because we did 7 for Goldfinger, so never mind. Anyway, it blows up just in time, right behind the I hope that's okay. I hope its heat shield hasn't been damaged with all this debris that'll be flying about. But anyway, they stopped it just in time. It's blown up the enemy, says Shane Rimmer. I bet Thunderbird 5 monitored all this from orbit. Anyway, we've done it, and they're all they're mopping up the bad guys. But here's Blofeld. He's going to do the self-destruct because he's got the key. There we go. So he's going to blow up the base. Going to make the volcano active again somehow. Must be a nuclear bomb or something underneath, or whatever. So it's all starting to blow up, so they've all got to run out. I think they go through the caves. Excuse me. Just today, his 5th Bond film. Yes, it was, and his last one until the next one. The first of Sean Connery's 3 last Bond films, isn't it? And Garak is clapping in the corner. I'm sure he is. I don't know what that's a reference to. I've said something and I've forgotten already. Anyway, so it's all blowing up. So they get out through the caves with the phosgene gas that's not gassing them anymore. But anyway, so they get out through there, and there was a not great bit of compositing with an explode. It's supposed to be the erupting volcano with lava coming out. Whatever. But anyway, it's out they come, and apparently these are Japanese aircraft dropping life rafts and stuff. Apparently. So there they go. So they're fine, and Bond and Kissy get their own. More explosions, and it says they'll never find us. Oh, talk about what about our honeymoon? He said, well, they'll never find us. But then, hang on, where are we? There we go. Obviously, this played in reverse because it shows a submarine coming up from underneath them. Let's go back again. There we go. So you can see that these waves, it's in reverse. So obviously, the film that it went beneath, it what they call it, it dove, whatever. It submerged, releasing the raft, and then they just played it back. So it looked as though it were coming up underneath the raft. There we go. And then it's M's private submarine, and they're going to bring them on board. So they're going to be a pleasure, sir. There we see it's M1. Look, M1, because this is M's personal submarine. So Tanaka's got a train, M's got a submarine, which I'm sure he used all the time. Anyway, Justin says he should have done the next one. It was perfect for him, but man, the stories of what he went through with some fans is nuts. In Japan, yeah, it meant somebody took a photo of him on the toilet or something, didn't they? Something like that. and he got published. Yeah, so he wasn't happy, and he'd fallen out with Saltzman and Broccoli, hadn't he? He made up with them later, didn't he? But he fell out with them. He wouldn't even, if they were on set, he refused to act if they were present on set. The relationship had become that strained. But anyway, so I get why he wanted to be done. Yeah. Yes, it has Diven. Anyway. People jumped in the car also. I haven't heard about that one, but I know that a lot of, it were crazy. They said the British press and British fans are nuts, but so the Japanese ones back then were pretty loony. But anyway, so there we go, and that's the end. I think that's the end. It's going to say James Bond will return. There we go. James Bond will be back on Her Majesty's Secret Service, and this time he will be, just not as Sean Connery. So there we go. So that's the end of You Only Live Twice, my third favourite James Bond film. As I said at the beginning, my three favourite James Bond films are all Lewis Gilbert ones: Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, and this. And they're all not technically, they're all sort of the same film. They're all very similar stories, but anyway, probably why I love them. So there we go, that's the end of You Only Live Twice. I really like it. It's not one, though, that a lot of people... It's not high up on a lot of people's lists of best Bond films. But as I said, it's my third favourite. I really, really like it. It always has been. I used to have it on VHS. I've probably not got that anymore unless it's in a box somewhere. But I've got the DVDs and the Blu-rays and all that. Justin says, Moonraker was good. Yeah, we did Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker a couple of years ago on Christmas. I did a double bill. But, yeah, they're my two favourites. And this is my third favourite. And my fourth favourite is Spectre. Go figure. He loves the song Moonraker. Good old Shirley Bassey. Wingress, mandatory. Sean Connery will return in Avengers Doomsday as Alan Quatermain. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Another film I liked, that it was his last film and all, wasn't it? Sean Connery's last film, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. LXG. Love the early Bond songs, says Justin. I like all of them, apart from Quantum of Solace. That is a terrible song. It's awful. All the others, I love them. But that Quantum of Solace one, God, it's awful. Anyway, there we go. So, what have I done? There we go. I think that's it. I don't think we've seen much else. Will we? James Bond theme written by Monty Norman. I don't think she's Japanese either, you. As she looks at us. And that's it. The end. The end. Themed. Right. What's happened to my background? Why's my background disappeared? Just bear with me. Why has my background disappeared? Still not there. Have I removed? No, it's not there now. What's going on? I've done something, haven't I? I don't know what I've done. I've no background anymore and I don't know why. Never mind. We'll muddle through. Right, so there we go. We'll leave it there. Why won't my background come on? I'm baffled. Let's get rid of that. No, it isn't coming on, is it? Let's go through the backgrounds and see what'll pop on. Oh, there we go. It's on now. That was weird. Right, so, hang on, where are we? Wingray says he did a random animated film after that, but his last on-screen is LXG. Yes, it is. They should have made LXG 2. Sean quit too soon. Yes, he did. He should have done... Well, he were offered Lord of the Rings, wasn't he? Should have done that. Finding Forrester was good too. I've not seen that, so I don't know. But anyway, right, so that's it. We're done. We'll leave it there. Crack, that were a long one, wasn't it? But it's James Bond. I always waffle on about James Bond films. Of course, I love them. Right, so we'll leave it there. So what's coming up next? Tomorrow, I haven't got a thing for that. Tomorrow, for Friday Night Point with Fear, we're continuing the festive theme, so I'll be in this again. We're doing The Mean One tomorrow, a review. Break down a review of The Mean One, which is... a Grinch horror story. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Zardoz 2. That's a weird film, is that Zardoz? So watch that. Well, a couple of years ago. I'd seen it years and years ago. I thought, well, that was rubbish. Apart from the big floating head. I like that bit. And then I watched it again not that long ago. Well, in the last 5 years or so. And I thought, that was rubbish. But I still like the big floating head. 2 Zar, 2 Doz. Or Zardoz 2 Electric Boogaloo. Justin says, yes, he was offered, but turned it down because he didn't understand it. Like, what? I know, well, it's not to understand. You're playing a wizard. You've played weirder things, Sean. Zardoz. Anyway, Russians, or Lithuanians, whatever. Zardoz Classic, Outland also. Outland's a good one. A Peter Hyams film, I think. Yeah. Anywho, S.N. Highlander, where he played... What were it? Egyptian Spaniard. He was a Scotsman playing an Egyptian Spaniard. Something like that, wasn't it? Who'd lived in Japan for a while. And Christopher Lambert were a Frenchman playing a Scotsman or something. Anyway, whatever. Highlander's great film. I think we've done it, haven't we? I think we've done it Magnificent Mondays, I think. Anyway, so that's tomorrow, the mean one, and then on Monday... Oh, get off. Hang on. Get over there. On Monday, to close out the festive season, there we go, It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart, Frank Capra's Christmas classic, which is a lovely film. So that's on Monday. So I'll probably be sat crying. So there we go. He is on my top 3 all-time actors. Sean Connery. He's up there, isn't he? He's everybody likes Sean Connery, apart from women that he slaps with an open hand. John Wayne, Genghis Khan is prime, though. I've never seen it, but I imagine it's amazing. I know what you mean, though. Was it that one? Was it Genghis Khan that were filmed near where they used to test nuclear or atomic weapons, and they all got radiation sickness or something like that? I'm sure that's Genghis Khan. The Man Who Would Be King should have got the Oscar. Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't it? That would I can't remember now. I'm trying to remember the name of the director. Super famous director. John Huston. It was a John Huston film, wasn't it? That with Sean Connery and Michael Caine. Great film with Malcolm McDowell as Rudyard Kipling. I think that's the one. Clark Gable, my number 1. Bale, Christian Bale, I presume you mean. Number 2. I don't know. I've never thought about my favourite actors. I don't think. I'm going to say now that I've got a video about it. I've got a video about my hottest actors and actresses, as in the sexiest. But I don't think I've done one for my favourite. I'd have to think about it. I've got some weird ones, though, that are my favourites. Like Walton Goggins is one of my favourite actors. I think he's amazing. But anyway, whatever. Win Grace says, I'm not going to can you. I'm not going to can you. Oh, I'm not going to can you. I'm not going to can you. The hell I'm not. Howard Hughes trucked in radiated dirt. Like 70 people died from that movie. So I were right in me thought. I didn't know the details. I just heard of it. Anywho, thank you for the information, Justin. You ought to do a blooming video, about films and stuff. You know miles more about films than me. Anyway, right. We'll leave it there. So thanks, Justin. And thanks for the $2 super sticker. And thanks, Win Grace. Did anybody else pop in? Yes, early on we had a couple, didn't we? Beardy Brits and Adam Gamer popped in earlier. So thank you for contributing. Whenever I see a name that I'm not familiar with, I always think it's going to be one of these idiots. And thankfully it wasn't this time. Justy says, I'm a nerd. Ha ha. See, I'm not. I never call myself a nerd, even though I did earlier on. I think before you got here. I'm a geek. Nerds, in my interpretation of a nerd, is somebody that knows a lot about stuff that they're interested in, knows all the ins and outs and the details and stuff. And a geek is just somebody that's into stuff, but don't necessarily know a lot about it. So that's me. I'm into a lot of things, and I know a bit about a lot of things, but not a lot about anything for the most part. Anyway, he says, I listen to commentaries. Yes, I do as well, if they're good. Sometimes you're listening to a commentary and thinking, they're boring. You're just congratulating yourselves. I'm not learning anything. Anyway. And just Windgrace says, here is to 2026, y'all. Yes, we haven't had a disaster. Although you could say that Swiss nightclub fire were a disaster. It wasn't very good, was it? But it wasn't a natural disaster, was it? I said there were going to be a natural disaster, didn't I? A volcanic eruption in the Caribbean. But we had that terrible fire in Switzerland, didn't we? So that wasn't nice. Anyway, this says, I'm geeko nerd. Right, so we'll leave it there. I'm all done and dusted. So I'll be back tomorrow for Friday Night Appointment with Fear and The Mean One. So thanks for watching wherever you are. Look after each other. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Heartburn. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll see you.